Broncos Stadium at Mile High as the Browns and the Broncos meet this Saturday night NFL special. Hi, everyone. Mike Tirico. Great to be back with my pal, the Hall of Famer, Super Bowl MVP, Kurt Warner. Well, it's December 15th, and the Cleveland Browns are mathematically alive. Browns fans haven't heard that in a while.
No, I've got people texting me going, "You're talking about my Browns in December."
There's a big reason. Baker Mayfield. He's been terrific. He's brought an energy. He has that it factor. What are you looking for when you watch him on the field tonight?
Well, I tell you what, as a quarterback, you're always circling pass rushers. He's going to be going against Chubb and Miller tonight. But what I know about slowing down a pass rush, get the ball out of your hands quickly as a quarterback. And for a young guy, nobody's doing it better than Baker Mayfield. He sees things, he's decisive, and he's getting the ball out of his hands.
He and the Browns have won 3 of their last 4. You can say the same thing about Denver, but it feels different because they lost to San Francisco last week. Now this week, Vance Joseph, the coach, has said we have to be more aggressive on offense early. What do we look for there?
Well, I tell you what, Case got that call that every quarterback wants to get from the head coach. Quit worrying about turnovers and sling the football. The only problem in this situation is there's no Emmanuel Sanders, there's no Demaryius Thomas. You look on the edges, and he's got 3 young rookies that are playing out there. And so, does he have the confidence in those guys to really take those shots and push the ball down the field?
It's a talented and inspired Cleveland team. For more on that inspiration, here's Peter Schrager.
Mike, last night the Cleveland Browns flew in a very special visitor, one Kobe Bryant, to speak to the team before the game. Kobe basically sat there and said, "Ask me anything," and the players did, doing the Mamba method. And his one message to the team was, impose your will on your opponent. Do whatever it takes. Come out on top. I know the Browns players were motivated, and their coaching staff was as well.
Great opportunity for them, Schrags. Terrific to be with you. Here's the story of the AFC North. Cleveland is alive for a wild card and the division. And Pittsburgh and Baltimore have tough games ahead. But Cleveland has to win tonight or Greg Williams' team is eliminated. Vance Joseph's team, only alive for a wild card, essentially eliminated with a loss tonight. As I said, what a terrific night here. Unseasonably mild. It's been in the upper 50s the last couple of days. We saw this one on the schedule and said maybe Mayfield in the snow in December. Not at all. It's a perfect night for football here in Denver. Toss won by the Browns. They defer, so the Broncos will receive. Devontae Booker awaits Greg Joseph's kick. There's a lot of orange in the stands, and it's not all Bronco orange. Downtown Denver was full of Browns fans today. They believe. Let's see what they'll do. Glad you're with us. Off we go on this Saturday night. From the front range of the Rockies with no return, the Broncos will start at the 25-yard line. Kurt mentioned Case Keenum, the quarterback brought here on the 2-year contract this year. He's been playing mistake-free, so that's the good thing. But now they need some dynamic plays. Will he be able to be reconciling safe but successful?
Well, and he's had some good moments when they've needed plays in the fourth quarter. 4 of their 6 wins have come by him making drives to score late. But you're right. The big question is, can he carry this team with his right arm, which is what Coach Vance Joseph wants him to do.
Terrific undrafted rookie sensation Philip Lindsay, the Denver native, is the back. He's got the first carry, and he will gain nothing. Myles Garrett, the former #1 overall pick 2 years ago, over there to help make the tackle. It's a reworked offensive line jumping into the no huddle. The 3 interior players are all injury replacements, so they have had to rework things. As mentioned in the pregame, the receiving corps has changed significantly. 3 rookies start in the skill spots for the Broncos. Check it down, Keenum, the pressure, able to get rid of it, but the knee down first. It'll be a sack. Jabril Peppers with the pressure off the edge.
Well, and that's the thing, is they're bringing pressure right off the bat. This is Greg Williams. What he does best is he's going to make you think all the time. Pressure untouched. Jabril Peppers, a nice job by Keenum to get the ball out of there and find his guy, but you got to be able to locate that and get the ball out of your hands.
Officially, it'll be an 8-yard sack, and there is Greg Williams, longtime defensive coordinator, replaced Hugh Jackson when he was fired, and bringing fire and pressure and heat. That is the trademark of Greg Williams' defenses over the years. 3rd and 18, and they'll get it out quick to Lindsay, who's blown up in the backfield by Joe Schobert. And what a start for the Browns defense. So much for aggressive for Denver.
And this is one thing they like to do with Philip Lindsay, is get him the ball in space. So you'll see things like this, quick swing passes. But Joe Schobert read this thing from the get-go. There was no chance for Philip Lindsay. Great tackle in the open field.
So you're saying 3 plays and minus 13 yards on your first drive is not a good thing, huh? Colby Wadman, the rookie from UC Davis, will kick it. Jabril Peppers back to receive. for the Browns. Good hang time on this kick, a 38-yarder. Peppers caught it at the 48 and will go no further than midfield, but still excellent field position for Baker Mayfield and the Browns to take over. #1 pick, won the Heisman Trophy at Oklahoma, 4-6 as a starter. Remember, it was a Thursday night game against the Jets. Tyrod Taylor gets hurt. Mayfield comes in, rallies the Browns at home for a win. It's been his show ever since.
Well, and you felt the energy that first Thursday night, and it hasn't let up yet. He has got this group inspired. This sideline is inspired. And the thing about it, Mike, is he's a young guy that seems to get better every time he steps on the football field.
Officially, this drive will start from his side of midfield at the 49. And as per usual, the noise comes with Denver's defense on the field. Mayfield shot. Jarvis Landry the catch to the 33-yard line. It was a big first play last week, a big first play this week.
And I love the thought process here. Jarvis is in the slot, and they're going to fake the wide receiver screen on the outside. He slips behind the defender, makes a nice catch, and maybe a face mask there on the end of that.
Darian Stewart with a grab and a turn. Undetected, so it just remains the gain on the play of 19 to the 32-yard line. An extra offensive lineman on the field in Kyle Kalis for Denver. Lining up in the backfield, and to give his to Nick Chubb, second-round pick out of Georgia. Gain a yard or two. Darian Stewart up from the safety position for the tackle. So this Denver offense up front, they've played very well. The last 5 games, they've only allowed 3 sacks. That's the best in the NFL during that stretch. Freddie Kitchens, former Alabama quarterback, has taken over as the play caller and using those rookies, Chubb and Callaway, along with the rest of the personnel around Mayfield.
He's changing it up to protect Mayfield, so you'll see those extra guys in there or those quick throws when they spread it out.
2nd and 9. Mayfield out of 10 quickly behind Jarvis Landry. An incomplete. Bradley Roby was closing for this Denver defense. They've got to carry this team. They're a top 10 scoring defense in the NFL. It's 3rd down, so it's Von Miller time. You see the guys up front will do a good job against the run. But when you get to 3rd down, it's the outside guys. 58 Miller, 55 the rookie Bradley Chubb, who bring the pressure and the heat. They do get Brandon Marshall back in the lineup in sub situations. They are missing Chris Harris, their Pro Bowl corner, who fractured his fibula a couple of weeks ago. In field goal range, 3rd and 9. Mayfield rips it. End zone. Touchdown. Held on to by Brashard Perriman, who's come with great hands after a reputation of the drops in Baltimore. Cleveland on the board on their opening drive.
And he's got the size, he's got the speed. Great job going up and getting this football. And you'll see he releases to the inside here on the corner route. Normally a quarterback says not the angle to throw it, but up and over, and makes a great play over Tremaine Brock. But I tell you what, he's one of the guys they've been talking about, Mike, is that, yeah, the drop sees in other places, but we're going to base it off of what he does here. And up to this point, that's what he's been doing, is making plays.
And a big 66-yarder on the first play last week in the victory over Carolina. Comes up with a touchdown on the opening drive here. Greg Joseph adds the extra point. Started the season on Washington's roster, was cut. Been with the Browns for about 9 weeks. Takes Mayfield to the end zone on the opening drive.
Network Special is brought to you by Hyundai, official sponsor of the NFL.
Brashard Perriman with a touchdown for the first time since 2016. Just more than a couple of years ago. December 4th game against Miami. His first touchdown as a Cleveland Brown. And they are on top 7-0 that opening drive. And Baker Mayfield, that's 11 straight games now with a touchdown pass. Every game that he has started for Cleveland. Well, that's about as bad a start as the Broncos could have. Allowing the touchdown and the struggles on their first drive offensively for Case Keenum and Denver.
Well, and the talk about being aggressive offensively, and you didn't see that on the first drive from the Broncos, as they talked about. But man, did you see it from the Browns. Man,
Yes.
they came out, throwing it down the field on the first play. They're not scared. You know, the one word you hear about Baker Mayfield, about this Browns team with Greg Williams at the head, is fearless. And that's exactly how they came out on that first drive.
Here we go, Monday. Down. Lady, what's that?
The drive start from the 25 years. Philip Lindsay only a yard against this Cleveland defense that has really given up a lot of yardage. Where they have made their hay this year, turnovers. They're 28 turnovers, second only to Chicago. Myles Garrett has had an outstanding season with 12.5 sacks. Jannard Avery, you'll see some in the pass rushing role, and Joe Schobert done a lot of tackling. You see Blake Williams, that is the son of interim head coach Greg Williams, and Blake has really emerged as the play caller for this defense, not Greg Williams, over the last 5 games as they've settled into their roles after the head coaching change. 2nd and 9, more pressure coming. Keenum got rid of it quickly, and then it's going to be ruled a catch and out of bounds as Lindsay had it long enough to take 2 steps and turn. It'll bring up 3rd down.
See, again, finding ways to get Philip the ball in space. That's what they want to do. He's not a great route runner, so some simple things on the outside, a quick break to the outside, but they are going to find ways all day long to find number 30 and get him the ball.
And after the ball was spotted, official, the deep official that side came down and said incomplete. As you saw in the replay, Lindsay was transferring it, not firm control. So it is an incompletion, and 3rd and 9.
Hey, red ball 2. Hey, red ball 3.
Keenum trying to figure out where the pressure will come from. He only rushes 4 this time, and Keenum shovels it forward, and this is going to be ruled incomplete. Got rid of it before his knee hit the ground, and Jannard Avery with the pressure. But the Boo Birds out for the home offense.
You're talking about where the pressure's coming from. You see the linebackers up in the A-gaps here, but they decide this time we're not going to pressure. They're going to pop out, trying to look for that quick slant to the outside, but the guy popping out from the inside, no window there, just had to tuck it in and throw it away.
This is a rough start for this Denver offense after a poor offensive performance against the Niners last week. Not a great kick here at all. It'll only be 37 yards and down, so Colby Watson is a bad punt. It's good field position for the Browns, off to a terrific start of this Saturday night special. Not just the Broncos fans who are frustrated, but the Executive Vice President of Football Operations and GM, John Elway, sees all the pressure that Case Keenum, the quarterback, is seeing. Those quarterback eyes don't lie, and right now it's tough to find places to go with the ball.
Well, you shared that great story that you said John still plays the game when he's up there watching, even as a GM. It's what I do even when I'm watching it. So he's up there going, man, what would I have done in that situation?
So the Browns take over for their 2nd drive at their own 36-yard line, and Mayfield gives to the fellow rookie Nick Chubb, who gains a couple, tackled by his 2nd cousin, Bradley Chubb. It's the first time they've ever been on a football field together. Their dads were first cousins. They are second cousins. They were taken high in the draft. Bradley Chubb, the 5th overall pick. Nick Chubb taking their 35th overall pick. Here's the first time they get a chance to meet the pros.
So it's early, but you're saying he's got bragging rights at Christmas dinner if it stays like this, and he's 1 for 1 on the tackle.
That's right. What a story. And they were almost teammates. The Broncos were hoping that they were going to have the chance to draft the running back, Nick Chubb. Instead, Cleveland took him 5 picks earlier. On 2nd down, Mayfield middle shot incomplete. Trying to get it to Duke Johnson, who's the pass-catching running back here for the Browns. The timing off, and it's 3rd down.
He did miss that one, and he's not going to miss many of those throws. But once again, what I love is hit the back foot, make the decision, get the ball out of your hands, what we call quick post here, 525 F post. He just left it out a little bit too far in front of him. That's one you got to put on the body to protect him from the secondary. But again, I love his pace. I love the fact that he's decisive when he throws the football.
3rd and 7.
Ricky.
Broncos rush 5. Mayfield downfield, incomplete. Tried to get it to Antonio Callaway, the rookie. Back-end coverage from Tremaine Brock. Important 3 and out for the Denver D.
Now you're going to see it again here. Another corner route gets the right leverage. He's got space. Once again, not a throw that Baker Mayfield misses very often. You got to drive that underneath. He tries to set it over the top to miss, but he's going to wish he had that one back, Mike.
Super Bowl 50 won by Denver. Their punter was Britton Colquitt. Had a great game that Super Sunday. The kick there, back up the return man. River Craycraft makes the fair catch back at his own 11-yard line. We talked about the rookies in this game. They got some pretty good rookie running backs here and a great class too. Saquon Barkley's had an awesome first season with the Giants. Philip Lindsay and Nick Chubb in our game tonight, right up there with Saquon in touchdowns. Haven't been able to do it in the pass catching mode the way Barkley's had a likely rookie of the year season, but Lindsay and Chubb give you a lot, especially what Lindsay's done for this Denver offense as an undrafted rookie.
Yeah, both these guys have been special. Remember that Nick Chubb wasn't even the starter for the first number of games when they had Carlos Hyde, so his numbers would be even higher. But you love what these guys do, although they're very different. One guy's quick, explosive. The other guy, the tough throwback type running back.
This is interesting. Denver's going to empty the backfield, see if they can regulate some of that pressure from Cleveland by formation here. Drive starts at the 12, and it's almost an interception. Jamie Collins had one in his hands. A penalty flag is down. We'll see what the call is. Clay Martin, first-year referee in the NFL, works the primetime game tonight.
Personal foul, leg whip, offense, number 66. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Call you don't hear very often, Jared Veldier. They traded for him in the offseason, starting right tackle.
You're going to watch him right here as he sets Avery. And there he just throws it up as he dives and misses. Going to throw that leg up from the back.
We got Chris Smith, the pass rusher. Half the distance penalty means it's first and 16. And a new back in there in Royce Freeman. And he is tackled by Smith, and this Denver offense cannot gain yardage. They have negative 14 yards so far in this game.
And you're going to see this defense of the Cleveland Browns. They're going to attack from the edges against running teams. You can't see it here, but they're going to cut these corners. You see the corners coming running in from the outside. When they play against a team that likes to run the football, they love to add those corners to the mix to stop the run.
Cheated him a yard. It's negative 13 yards so far on the first 7 Broncos plays. Second and 17. Now we'll try Devontae Booker, usually a pass catcher. He'll stay into block. The pass is complete to Tim Patrick, who gets to the 16-yard line. A lot of getting to know you for many of you in this Broncos receiving corps. Patrick undrafted in his first year out of Utah, and they'll jump the ball here before third down.
Again, you try to catch this Cleveland defense that does so many different things on third down. Try to catch him off guard so you can catch him, not blitzing you, have a chance to hold the football and make a throw.
Hey, red ball, hey! Red ball one! Hey, red ball one!
Early count. Keenum saw Cleveland's plan. Trying to get him to something that'll work. Tries that one to Patrick again. Beauty of a back shoulder out of bounds at the 31-yard line. First down in front of the corner, Terrence Mitchell.
And Patrick was their leading receiver last week. Talked to Keenum. He loves the rapport that he has with this young kid. But you see this wonderful throw on the back shoulder. Nice adjustment by Patrick.
Much needed first down for the first time for Denver tonight. Booker remains the back. 5 in the pattern. That one's incomplete underneath, throwing for Deshaun Hamilton. I want to talk to you as a quarterback, because you used to have Demaryius Thomas, used to have Emmanuel Sanders. Thomas traded to Houston. Sanders injured his Achilles a couple of weeks ago in practice. And now Case Keenum's working with a bunch of guys who have really little experience.
Exactly. And the understanding of what they're going to do on different routes. When you work with veteran guys that you've been working with since training camp, you get a chance to throw every route with them. Now you get young guys in, you haven't had a chance to throw everything. You're playing in a game and you're trying to figure out exactly how they're going to come in and out of the cuts.
Taking and 10, pressure off the corner. He throws behind it to Cortland Sutton, who splashed as a rookie this year, just 2 yards. Jamie Collins, the tackle, and a late flag comes in from the back. Sutton is the leading receiver on this team in terms of the active players, with 30 catches. Gives you an idea of how much production they've lost.
Personal foul, lowering the head to initiate contact. Defense, number 51. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Just talked about rule added in the offseason, not called very often this year. We see it here.
You see Jamie Collins coming in, and great call. Drops it, hits, makes the contact with the crown of his helmet, helmet to helmet. That's going to draw a flag every time.
Collins, leading tackler on this Browns team. That'll cost him 15 and take Denver out to the 48-yard line.
Hey, solid. Yeah, Willis. One day down. 190.
Halfway through this opening quarter, Browns the early lead. Broncos trying to respond. Keenum with the pass complete underneath to Bryant Parker, and the tight end makes a nice move to get within a couple of yards of the first down. That's the second career catch. Maybe the second this year for the third-year man out of Albany.
That's something that Case Keenum does really well. They like to get him on the move, especially off their run game. You're going to see a lot of hard play fakes off that stretch game that Philip Lindsay is so good at. And then they'll make it out to the backside. He throws very, very well on the run.
Sid Lacoste, 83, right side of your screen. He's the other tight end along with Parker. Those two guys were competing for the 4th and 5th job, the practice squad tight end in training camp. They've lost all 3 receivers to injury. What a play by Collins in the backfield, knocking Philip Lindsay back for a loss that will set up 3rd and long.
Wow, you're going to see that Jamie Collins just hits this as they flip it and try to get outside. Beats the defender in great open field tackle, but hate to be Philip Lindsay in that situation where they're flipping it to you. You got your eyes on the ball and you turn, and there's Jamie Collins.
First down, they gained 7, but that run play lost 7. So 3rd and 10. Browns bring all the heat from Keenum's left. He throws it to his right. It is caught by Lacoste for the first down. The tight end is going to be marked at the 41. And a couple of good 3rd down pickups by Denver on their 3rd drive of the game.
Just a little leak out by the tight end from the inside, and that's exactly what Cleveland wants. Make him throw it short and come up and make the tackle. Does a nice job of splitting the 2 defenders and getting past the sticks.
All right, let's go, Izzo. Hey, Izzo. 5-3. Single. Now.
The 41, Lindsay looking for some space. Finally has it. And Philip Lindsay has a first down to the 30-yard line. He is so quick to and through the hole. Some of the reason he's been such a good back this year.
Well, no question is that you give him a little bit of space and he hits it. And he's got that small stature where sometimes it's tough to see him before he's through that hole and up into the secondary.
Broncos no huddle again. Get it out quick. It's just a 2-yard gain to the side. As Jamie Collins escorts Lindsay to the sideline. Talked about the no huddle and getting to the huddle quick. What is Denver and Bill Musgrave, their offensive coordinator, trying to do to Cleveland?
Well, once again, with Greg Williams, he wants to throw a million different things at you. So when you're rigging a lot of different blitzes, you got to communicate from the sideline. You got to figure out what you're going to get. So getting them up to the line of scrimmage usually causes more of a base defensive front. So you can see what you got. You're not going to get as much pressure. And then you can deal it in and doing a nice job of making these quick throws, getting the ball out of Case Keenum's hands quickly.
Royce Freeman in the back. It's 2nd and 8. Deep shot. Cortland Sutton goes up to get it and gets the flag for pass interference. No-brainer call. Terrence Mitchell wouldn't let Sutton get there. Sutton slow to get up. He's battled a quad injury throughout the week.
And the big body of Sutton, they love to throw.
First down.
They love to throw the go routes to this big, lengthy receiver. And you can see this all the time, Mike. As soon as that ball is thrown a little bit short and the receiver has to slow up just a little bit, the defender runs through him. They're going to throw a flag each time.
Ball marked at the 3. Sutton walks over to the sideline. Andy Janovich, the fullback, in front of Freeman. Janovich leads the way. Freeman met and stopped. Demarius Randall leading the pursuit along with Trevon Coley. There is Randall, who was a Green Bay Packer, was playing corner, moved back to safety after the Browns acquired him via trade. And he has been a big impact guy leading a young secondary for the defensive coordinator, now interim head coach Greg Williams.
He's the veteran of the group.
Right.
You know, even
he's a fourth year in the league.
Fourth-year guy, but he feels like the young or the veteran that's leading the troops out here, but doing a great job for him, playing in a lot of different situations.
Spread him out. 5 in the pattern. Keenum on the roll. Good move underneath by Booker. He's down. Shy of the goal line at the half-yard line. The tight end Lacoste said it was a touchdown. Let's take a peek, see if he broke the plane or not.
And they love to move Case Keenum when they get down tight into the red zone, get away from the pressure. He throws nice on the run. Good ball right there. And then Booker, as you said, dipped down underneath, allowed the defender to jump over the top of him, then reaching for the goal line, just a touch short with that knee.
That's really, really close as Booker takes that dive. Here's a look down by the goal line there. There's any body part on that knee comes down just shy. It looks like it was a good call live. Vance Joseph doesn't challenge. It's 3rd and goal. Look for the pass, which was covered. Keenum running. Get him there. Touchdown Broncos. Myles Garrett almost stopped him, but Keenum gets to the end zone.
And you're going to see right here, just a one receiver right, hard play action. We're going to try to sneak him out. Good coverage by Jamie Collins, and then just enough athleticism by Keenum to get out of the grasp of the defender there and dive into the end zone.
Myles Garrett said, "Why'd you pick up that left ankle? I was bringing you down for 4th down." Didn't happen. Extra point added by Brandon McManus. A much-needed, lengthy, get-even drive. Some adversity in the middle of it, but Case Keenum brings him to the house. All even at 7 in Denver. No disrespect to former Denver linebacker Al Wilson there in the middle, but Peyton Manning and John Elway there, and Peyton said, hey, to his son Marshall, make sure you say hi to Mr. Elway. Used to work for him here. They combined as executive and quarterback Super Bowl 50, a couple of Hall of Famers and greats. I saw Case Keenum run that in from 1 yard, a very important drive, 13 plays and 88 yards. So we've got Elway, Peyton, Warner. We got royalty in the quarterback spot in the building tonight. And here's Dontrell Hilliard with a nice kick return out to the 29-yard line. Time for NFL Next Gen Stats. Last week against Carolina, Baker Mayfield. This was the opening play of the game. 66 yards. The man who caught the touchdown tonight, Rashard Perriman. But 54.7 yards of travel in the air from the line of scrimmage. That's the deepest completion by a quarterback in terms of air yards from the line of scrimmage this year.
Really? I was thinking maybe I still had that in me. No, I don't have that in me. But I tell you what, you would...
Injury first year, Brendan Langley, the corner coming down on special teams coverage for the Broncos, is being looked at by the athletic training staff of Denver after he was trying to get in there on the tackle. So as they check on him, we'll step out for one brief second.
This NFL Network special is brought to you by Tin Cup Mountain Whiskey.
Back in Denver, Brendan Langley was helped off the field. Baker Mayfield back on it, Kurt.
Yeah, we were talking about that big arm, and sometimes you have to see it in person. Everybody would tell me, I know he's small in stature, but if you see him throw in person, the ball just comes flying out of his hand, and we've already seen that early tonight.
Big shoulders, big hands, Vance Joseph said, the opposing head coach tonight. On first down to run to the right with Nick Chubb. That's only a gain of a yard. Second down coming up. We've talked about the team around Baker Mayfield, and it's a change team too, because Hugh Jackson, the head coach at the start of the season, Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator, they were both let go at the same time. Freddie Kitchens elevated from quarterback coach to offensive coordinator.
And they've obviously turned a corner since that happened, so you wonder, what was it? What was that one thing that you changed? And Freddie told us, I just simplified it. I figured out what these guys do well. Don't have to do a bunch of stuff. Just do what they do really, really well, and it's paid off for them.
Those numbers, that second line, illustrate that stretch with Kitchens calling the play. Sleight of hand fools no one. Todd Davis said, I'll take your fake and take you back, Baker. Loss of 5. Davis with the tackle for loss.
Yeah, we saw something like this last week where we're going to do the old Statue of Liberty. Fake it one side and hand it off. And it's tough because your eyes are to the left. You don't know where the back is. and that's exactly what can happen.
And they lost where each other were, and actually a good job there not to be a fumble as it hit the left hip of Nick Chubb. One of the two was not in the proper position.
And you see that quite often, right? You're not on the same page. You can't see the ball to look it into the back's belly. Like you said, very fortunate that it wasn't turnover.
3rd and 13. Mayfield's got 5 in the pattern. Everybody covered. Baker trying to make something happen. Opens up the tight end, Njoku, for the first down. Gain of 20 to the 45. David Njoku, his 48th reception on the season.
Well, we've talked a lot about this offensive line. Done a great job over the last 4 games. But you see Njoku right here. He's staying into chip on Von Miller. And then he just leaks out, finds an open area. Baker does a nice job of buying time, keeping his eyes down the field, and getting that first down.
Denver had it all covered. Credit the offensive line. They kept blocking Mayfield. Long time to find Njoku open for the gain of 20. First down, Nick Chubb. Hesitates, accelerates. He'll get 5. Peter Schrager on the sideline.
Yeah, Mike, Freddie Kitchens bristles at this notion that he's calling these games like he's got nothing to lose. He says we have a lot to lose, and outside the organization would think that this guy's just playing with house money. No. He trusts Baker Mayfield. He trusts these young receivers, and he trusts this offense to put them in the best position to win. He says all these plays, they're not to just roll the dice. It's because it gives them the best chance to win.
He's first-time play caller, but he's not new to the NFL. He was the quarterback at Alabama back in the 80s, spent a lot of time, almost a decade in Arizona, and Kurt, you were around him, and Freddie Kitchens getting that first shot, making the calls on offense, and he's been a good fit with Mayfield so far. Dying minute, opening quarter, pressure on. Mayfield shot downfield. It is incomplete. Good job by Will Parks playing deep. He went up to high point the ball as a defender, prevented the long completion. It's 3rd down.
And this is how they like to take their shots down the field. Put a couple tight ends in, max protect, make it a simple read on the back end, just a 2-receiver route. Could have laid it a little bit more on the outside. Nice play on the back end by the Broncos.
Yeah, 2 receivers. The tight end Njoku and Perriman both very close. Parks knocked it out of the park. 3rd and 5. Nice outfit. Duke Johnson in the slot. Play clock running down. Mayfield against a 4-man rush. Incomplete. Bradley Chubb got to him at the end of that pass rush. And the 5th pick hit the 1st pick to set up 4th down.
As you said, they've been given a lot of pressure to Vaughn and Chubb with the tight end there, but he gets matched up one-on-one. Tackle not able to get back out to him. Forced that throw to be made just a little bit too soon, leaving it a little bit high for his receiver.
Colquitt will try to pin Denver back deep as this quarter ends. Craycraft with a fair catch to the 12, 38-yard. After 1 in Denver on this NFL Network Saturday Night Special. We're all tied at 7. Great to hear him and see him on the pregame, and great to see him from the golden days. Terrell Davis wearing number 30. Philip Lindsay now wears number 30. He reached out to TD because Lindsay wore number 2, Kurt, the preseason, and he reached out to TD. It was a feature you guys had last Sunday morning about that.
And TD said, I had to think about it because it represents more than just me, but the underdog, so he thought it was a perfect fit for Philip Lindsay.
Lindsay, the undrafted player out of Colorado. Second quarter begins. Keenum is on target to Cortland Sutton for the first down at the 25-yard line. Gain of 12 as the second quarter gets underway here in Denver.
In a nice read, you're going to see the underneath receiver run a little bit of a hook. The defender drives on it. Nice job by Case Keenum to see that, anticipate, and throw it right behind him.
Interesting, Kurt. We're seeing Lindsay line up with Sutton a couple of times now on the same side on offense. They're trying to find ways to be creative and get their guys open because they've lost their dangerous outside people this year, as we've talked about. From the 25 here is Lindsay looking for some space. He'll only gain 2 yards at the 27-yard line. Well, earlier you saw Houston beat the Jets. Our doubleheader this Saturday. Next Saturday, it's the Redskins and the Titans, followed by a terrific one in L.A. We'll be out there for the Chargers and the Ravens
Man,
next Saturday night NFL Network.
That's going to be good. I mean, the Chargers coming off these 2 huge wins on the road. Ravens playing good right there behind the Steelers. I can't wait, Mike.
Yeah, I saw you in the lobby this afternoon already looking at the Chargers-Chiefs film. You're sneaking ahead to next week's work.
I got lots going on.
Man,
I prepare when I get a chance.
Gosh, I'm feeling underprepared already. 2nd and 8, here's Lindsey on the run. Good spin move by Lindsey. So what do you like about this rookie back who set records in his high school at Denver South, 5 miles from here, and then at Boulder with Colorado?
I tell you what I like is what we saw right there. He's not just an outside speed guy, even though he's explosive. Very tough in between the tackles. We talked to Vance Joseph, and I said, when did you know this guy could be the guy? And he said, well, it was against the Ravens, and he actually got thrown out of that game. But he was running between the tackles, and he came up, and it was like he felt he was 6'4", 250 pounds. He had the courage to hit it between the tackles. He knew then he could be an every down back.
Empty out the backfield here, 3rd and 3. Keenum out quick, uses that little rub route to find Cortland Sutton for the first down. He and Deshaun Hamilton creating traffic on the outside.
Well, and interesting, Vance Joseph said we want to throw the ball down the field and attack down the field, but really what they've been doing tonight is getting the ball out quick. A little bit of a rub route there, creating a little bit of space for Sutton. Nice throw on the outside, but it's been more short throws tonight than maybe the bigger throws that we expected.
For Sutton, catch number 3, and he drew the pass interference in the first quarter. 2nd round pick, number 40 overall, invested in the 3rd receiver taken in the draft after DJ Moore in Carolina and then Calvin Ridley in Atlanta were taken in the 1st round. First down pass to the tight end, Matt Lacoste. And the former free agent out of Illinois has done a good job after first contact on all 3 of his catches to extend the play. He picked up another first down there.
A lot of times when defenses are in a man-type situation and the tight end steps out to block, those linebackers get lost because they start looking back to the interior for a run. Then those guys are able to leak out. But you're seeing them use Case Keenum in space as well. Seems to be a plan that they had going in. Get him outside the tackles where he's been very effective this year.
One of those Lacoste plays was called back for a penalty, so he officially has 2 receptions. But another nice drive from back inside their own 15. Broncos out near midfield. And again, an empty backfield. Keenum going to step up and whip it out to Brian Parker. These tight ends are getting the job done here to the 41-yard line. First down. They lost all 3 of the tight ends they planned on this year on injured reserve. So now it's Matt Lacoste and Brian Parker getting the job done.
As you said, they were fighting for a spot on that practice squad. And now they're out here fighting for a job where they can get a roster spot next year, but really playing well early in this game.
Blake Williams, the play caller for his dad, the interim head coach, trying to solve this empty look and get it out quick against a very young Broncos offense. Most of the players on the field for Denver were not here a year ago. Keenum, this pass is brought in. Good job. Strength by Sutton to get it. And these young guys, Peter, feeling pretty good right now.
Cortland Sutton spinning the ball here. Yeah. We talked to Case Keenum about this, and Case Keenum said he kind of likes the fact all these guys are young and inexperienced, because in the huddle, they're all ears on him. They don't know any better. They're listening to every word he says. They're dialed in, and they're trying to make a career for themselves. Case Keenum is flourishing right now with a lot of inexperienced guys.
And it's a great point, Peter, because when I talked to Case about the young guys, he goes, I was a product of the next man up philosophy, and so I love working with these young guys because that's where they're at right now. Next man up, now you get a chance to make a name for yourself.
Now he's getting these young guys in order. Royce Freeman, rookie at Oregon. Hey, you're supposed to be here. It's a fake to you. Spin it outside to Andre Holmes, who gets his first catch of the year. He was with Buffalo, was cut the same day that Kelvin Benjamin was cut. He's only been here a week and a half, but he gets a reception. So what is this like for Keenum? Because most of these guys, they're OTAs, throw-ins, all that. He wasn't around these guys back then.
Not at all, but they're putting in a little extra time. But what he says is that these guys want to be great, though. So there's nothing better than having a young guy who would just sit there attentively and go, okay, what do you need me to do? I will do exactly that, so you get me the football.
To the ground, and Lindsey, and not much there. Cleveland gets to the other side of the line of scrimmage. Loss of a couple of yards there. Brian Price up front in on the tackle.
And you look at the stats for this Cleveland defense, and on paper they don't look very good against the run or the pass. But we talked about Blake Williams taking over some of the play calling. Since he's taken over, they're only giving up about 77 yards rushing a game. They've been much better at not giving up the big plays, not creating as many turnovers, but he's done a nice job of settling some of those things down, and you're seeing that tonight.
Blake turns 34 later this month. 2nd and 12. Keenum out of the pocket underneath. It's Tim Patrick. Good job rallying to the ball by Jannard Avery. And he'll make it 3rd down.
Well, this is a situation that Denver's been throwing the ball underneath. You want to get them in a 3rd and long situation. So again, throw it underneath. We can rally and get off the football field. But up to this point, it's been a lot of short yardage 3rd down situations that they've been able to pick up on those quick throws.
Keenum has hit his last 12 attempts. From the world of be a little more aggressive compared to last week. 3rd and 9. Browns bring extra pressure. Keenum lofts it incomplete. He's trying to lay it out there to Devontae Booker without the turnover because they are in field goal range.
Well, this is one of those blitz zero looks, meaning they're going to bring everybody in play, strictly man across the board, no safeties. You see the free blitzer coming from the right-hand side. He's got to buy a little bit of time and hope that he can hold it long enough. In that case, wasn't able to do it.
Joe Schobert, middle linebacker, bringing the pressure. So Brandon McManus, who's made everything inside of 50 this year, but has missed his 4 outside of 50 yards. We'll try this one from 44. Colby Wadman. The punter is the holder. McManus knocks it through. So the Broncos take 2 drives starting inside their own 15 and score. They lead 10-7. So Baker Mayfield tries to bring the Browns from behind when you come back. Well, Cleveland had the quick strike early on, but since then Denver's kept the ball away from Baker Mayfield. They've had the ball really 3/4 of this game so far, and they've scored a touchdown and a field goal on drives that started their own 12 and 13. Gone from 7-0 Browns to 10-7 and no return for the Browns. There he is, Super Bowl 50 MVP, 3-time first-team All-Pro. Von Miller coming into this week, he was 2nd in sacks with 13.5. Kurt, he's a guy who can wreck a game, but he got called for 3 neutral zone infractions or offsides last week, and he reminded everyone, you know what? Sometimes LeBron has to use his 5 fouls to win a game. It's not that big a deal if I can make the big play.
Well, it was fascinating hearing him talk about all the stuff that goes into that.
Here he is getting close to Mayfield and got that out quick. The pass is incomplete. The penalty marker thrown on the far side by the down judge. We're going to get a hold on the Broncos, it appears. Here from Clay Martin.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 94, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Domatov Pecco's been in the league 13 years. Come on, I'm supposed to get away with that stuff.
But going back to Vaughn, I mean, it was fascinating to hear all the stuff that goes into that. And you talked about him jumping off sides, and it's like a quarterback with a short memory. He's like, I got to pick my moments, but hey, sometimes you jump offside. That's why I've got so many sacks. I got to forget about that and do the same thing on the next snap.
Here's Nick Chubb running to the left, got a good block, and Chubb goes out of a couple of tackles to get the first down, including the top tackler on this team, Todd Davis. Good, powerful runner.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about Lindsey and Chubb, both great young backs, but they do it differently. Lindsey, he makes a lot of guys miss, doesn't get touched as much, and then Chubb, the old school, after contact, be able to keep those legs going and churning. And that's really why they got rid of Carlos Hyde. They loved Carlos Hyde here, but they needed to get that guy, number 24, on the field more.
They signed Hyde in March, free agent, felt good about the Ohio State performer coming back to the state. They traded him to Jacksonville. There's a pass complete to Perriman, or rather Rashard Higgins, excuse me, who's got the first down across midfield into Denver territory at the 46-yard line. Higgins with the reception.
And this is something that they do really well. It's just a quick 5-yard out here. Baker sees off coverage, hit your back foot, get the ball out of your hands. We talk about how decisive Baker Mayfield is. When he knows what he's seeing, he's extremely tough to stop.
Start number 11. And a big part of the growing confidence in this franchise. Opening for Duke Johnson into the secondary. Big run for Johnson and a gain of 15.
One thing Freddie Kitchens talked a lot about this week was making sure Baker's eyes are in the right spot on the snap. And you saw right there, just a little peek to the right to make sure the corner's off, catch the ball, know where you're going with it, hit your back foot, get the ball out. He's accurate, he's decisive. When he does that, he's as tough as anybody in the league right now.
So the offensive coordinator is trying to make sure that the quarterback's eyes are in the right place and not scanning the field in a panic.
Right, he talked about eliminate things quickly. Know what you're seeing and what you can get away from right off the snap.
He tried that for Davis. It was in go for Fells. It's a penalty on Todd Davis. The tight end Fells was working on Davis in the middle. Davis had a hold of him, and the flag came from the back.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 51. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
You're going to see he's going to lean outside and then come back to the inside. Gets Todd Davis moving to the outside as he breaks back. The only way to slow him down is to wrap that right arm around his hip.
Approaching 6 minutes left. Second quarter. Browns trying to retake the lead. They led early 7-0. Broncos bring 5. Mayfield rolls it and rips it incomplete. Trying to find Jarvis Landry, who led the NFL in receptions last year and leads the team this year in catches.
This is just a situation where he's trying to take the deep shot. You're going to see the underneath route here by Callaway wide open. He was trying to force it down the field, a little mixed up by the Broncos secondary. Needs to just drop that one off.
And he knows it. You'd see it in his reaction. Had his fellow rookie Callaway underneath for a chain mover. Instead, 2nd and 10. Big Chubb is the back. Broncos bring the pressure. Mayfield, deep shot. Incomplete, no flag. Despite the protest from Perriman, Jermaine Brock in the coverage. It's 3rd down.
Really good coverage by Brock right here. He cuts him off at the top of the route and just plays hand fighting right there. I think that's a good call, Mike, not to throw a flag. They both put their hands out. That's good coverage.
It's always one of my favorite stadiums in the league to come to for 3rd down. They always have good pass rushers, but these fans are some of the smartest in the sport. They know to crank up the volume on 3rd down.
Well, as a former quarterback, not one of my favorite to come to on 3rd down.
In field goal range, blitz coming, picked up for the moment. Mayfield escapes. There's a flag down as he goes down. Bradley Chubb eventually getting to him, along with Shelby Harris. Let's see what the flag is. Because if it's against the Browns, it could take him out of field goal range with the sack.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 21. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I think 31. There's no 21 on the Denver roster active tonight. Sua Cravens is 21. He's inactive.
You can see it right here in the slot on Jarvis Landry as he makes that move back to the outside. He pulls him, turns the numbers back inside, and a big break for the Browns there. Baker Mayfield, after he eluded Chubb, needs to throw that football away so they can get a field goal there. But they get a second chance here thanks to that mistake by the Broncos secondary.
Moore has been let go. It's the 3rd defensive holding penalty on this drive. Browns have it at 22. A good run by Josie Jewell, the rookie 4th-round pick out of Iowa, to come up with the tackle of Nick Chubb there.
Brandon Marshall has been down for a while. They really like what Josie Jewell's done coming in, especially helping in the run game. You remember back early in the year, there was a 3-game stretch where this Broncos defense was giving up about 245 yards rushing per game. The other 10 games down to 80 yards. They're doing a nice job, and he's been a big part of the reason why on the inside.
We saw 54 come in. Marshall playing these sub situations, more the pass situations. He's missed the last 5 games with a knee injury. 2nd and 10, approaching 5 minutes till halftime. Again, pressure. Again, picked up. Mayfield, incomplete. So they are bringing the heat. They're testing those eyes of the quarterback he talked about, trying to get it to his tight end, Njoku.
And this is how the Broncos love to play. They want to bring pressure. They want to play man on the back end. You didn't know if they'd be able to do that with some of the injuries they have. But one-on-one, it's a one-on-one situation. And Baker has just been a little bit off on these deeper throws. He got exactly what he wants. Lay that ball a little bit more air, a little bit more to the outside, and give your guy a chance to make a play.
This is 3rd and 10. Mayfield has it deflected. He tried to run and catch his own pass. Could not get there. And it'll bring up 4th down and a 40-yard field goal attempt. Zach Kerr bringing the heat up the middle with a hand up.
And that's what you tell those big guys, right? You start the pass rush. If you can't get there, read the quarterback's arm. If it gets up in the air, put that big mitt up there. Kerr does a nice job of getting his hands on the football and forcing the field goal.
All right, Greg Joseph, the rookie out of Florida Atlantic. One of the kicking problems Cleveland had earlier in the season. I'll tell you this, on the field before the game, he was missing field goals to the right from around this length. He's only missed 2 all year. This is a 40-yarder to tie the game. Nailed that. Good kick from the rookie, who stabilized some of the kicking. As we get close to Christmas time, gift for us here, a good game. I'll leave it at 10.
This NFL Network special is brought to you by Verizon. Get the gift you want on the network you deserve. And by KFC's $20 fill-up. It's finger-licking good.
40 degrees here in Denver on this Saturday in the middle of December, watching the #1 pick, the Heisman Trophy winner from 2017, Baker Mayfield and the Browns. Trying to stay alive, and the same true for the Denver Broncos in their playoff hopes. All even at 10. Mike Tirico, Kurt Warner, Peter Schrager. Glad to have you with us here on NFL Network tonight. Greg Joseph's kickoff will be brought out by Devontae Booker from 4 deep. And Booker forced the kicker to get involved in the tackle out about the 34-yard line. Nice return. Good field position for the Broncos. 9 a.m. Eastern, less than 12 hours away from game day morning. Juju Smith-Schuster talking about the Steelers showdown with the Pats. Rich and the guys will get you ready for all of Sunday. Why does Rich's name only get mentioned?
I don't know what's
What about you? What about her?
But hey, I'm going after the game back to L.A. You should probably just join us in studio tomorrow. What do you think?
I'm going to New York. We've got our own studio show on NBC tomorrow night.
But that's tomorrow night. We're off early in the morning, and then you can get over there no problem.
Schrager's got to work the Fox show in the morning, too, so we'll get everybody covered here. Nate Burleson was on earlier. He's on NFL Today tomorrow. Fun stuff. Keenum on 1st down. All collapsing around him, but he stays calm and finds Deshaun Hamilton just shy of the 49. Keenum's had a good first half here after those couple of drives to start.
And you're going to see his vision starts over here to the left. And he's reading 1, he's reading 2, the deep route, and then he comes all the way back to the backside to find his 3rd receiver. Well done by Case Keenum.
And Case Keenum was a gunslinger and a prolific quarterback in his college days at Houston. Remember back then? Kevin Sumlin was his coach. The all-time collegiate record in Division I for passing yards. Run by Royce Freeman to the right. Gain of 2. Of course, you barely mentioned Case Keenum's name without immediately mentioning the Minnesota Miracle and the pass he threw to Stephon Diggs last year in the divisional playoff game. And then the carousel started with free agency and quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins signed by Minnesota. Keenum signed right before that here with Denver for a 2-year deal, $36 million. As Denver tries to find someone to bridge to their quarterback of the future, it's the present for Keenum and his opportunity with a good defense to maybe make a further name for himself in the league. Lindsey sprints out. Slant caught by the tight end Lacoste, and another. Matt Lacoste first down at the 42-yard line.
Who are these guys on the outside? Man, the big guys are doing a nice job for them. And you'll see just a little under slant here from the outside underneath the inside receiver. Good timing by Keenum to beat Jamie Collins from the inside. But you talk about Case Keenum, and I asked him, how do you describe yourself? And he goes, a gunslinger. I still see myself as a gunslinger, although when you watch him play now, he doesn't seem to be that guy that wants to throw the ball 35 times and carry a team with his right arm.
The league has now come back to the way he used to play in college, and he's playing a little bit like that tonight, 17 of 21. Pick up the pressure, throws to Sutton, who comes up with a catch. Cortland Sutton working on TJ Carey for the first down.
And you're starting to see what he likes about each of these receivers. The big body of Cortland Sutton. He loves to throw the big ball because he's got good body control. He's got those big hands. Once again, a back shoulder throw. Nice ball, but the big body of Sutton, he's able to turn it and shield the defender and use those big hands to make the catch.
Sutton, as we mentioned, came in banged up. He was limited in practice this week, but good early start, plus a pass interference penalty drawn down to the 3-yard line, not shown in the stats. Last play before the 2-minute warning is Keenum faking, now throwing, dropped by Tim Patrick. Keenum did a terrific job to get Patrick open. He couldn't hang on. 2-minute warning in Denver. All even at 10 on this Saturday night. Lexus halftime report coming. Chris Rose, Terrell Davis, Willie McGinnis here. First half highlights. We'll look ahead to the busy slate tomorrow. Case Keenum, that last play, an interesting one.
Oh, I got the guy on the inside. Oh, wait, no, I don't. Hang on. Oh, look at that. He almost lost the ball.
Whoa.
Great strong hands to pull that back in. And he made a nice throw to Patrick that he should have come down with.
That Big Ben pump fake.
Yeah,
don't
exactly
try this
what I thought.
Right?
Big Ben is better than anybody in the league at being able to do that.
They'll try that against the Patriots in the big one late tomorrow. 2nd and 10 for Keenum. Collapsing pocket. He rips it complete and then dropped. Matt Lacoste couldn't hang on to that one, so a couple of balls that could have been caught will force 3rd down. Let's credit Terrence Mitchell for getting his hands in the way on that one, too.
Well done by Terrence Mitchell to keep his eyes back to the inside. So he's playing the outside receiver here, but he's seeing through him to the ball. The ball's thrown. He breaks on the inside and makes the play.
So they'll bring up 3rd down for Denver. Each team full set of timeouts. Garrett's pressure picked up. Keenum has to throw it. Sutton goes up in the air, and it is intercepted by Jabril Peppers. Spectacular play by the former Michigan Wolverine, who cut across, makes the interception. It's a touchback. Browns will have it at the 20. Peppers comes up with the pick.
And we're back here in Denver, all tied up at 10s, and we'll take a look here at that interception by Peppers. How far he has to go on the backside hash as a quarterback. You think no chance he's going to get there, but hung out there just a little bit by Case Keenum because of the pressure. And I felt like Cortland Sutton should have stopped his feet and gone up and high-pointed that, and maybe he cuts off Peppers so he can't make the interception.
2nd career interception for Peppers. Has first one week 17 against Pittsburgh last week. Last year. Run for a yard here by Duke Johnson Jr. and a timeout is taken. Back in 30 after this message from Bose. And here is Mayfield on 2nd down. He's another pass knocked down. Adam Gotsis, the Australian-born 3rd-year player out of Georgia Tech. His Denver defensive line leads the league in defensive line pass deflections.
Well, the guys up front that you talk about aren't necessarily pass rushers, right? Only 3 sacks between those 3 guys that start on the defensive line. So they're more big pushers, so they're going to push, and then they're going to wait and see that arm come back by Baker Mayfield and get that long arm up and knock it down. Well done by that defensive line.
And again, the questions coming out when you're throwing from the pocket at 6 feet. Those are some of the things that you have to deal with. 3rd and 9 for Mayfield. Off the spot, puts it up. It's caught, but Duke Johnson tackled 5 shy of the first down. At a timeout taken by Vance Joseph with 1:28 left. So the Broncos will get the ball back with 1 timeout left. And an average net punt would have them with the ball around the 35-yard line.
Well, you mentioned that idea of a shorter quarterback. Even when I was playing at 6'2", so often you throw into holes, you throw in between guys. So there's oftentimes as a smaller guy where you can't even see your receiver. You just know where he's supposed to be and you let it go. And you see that quite often with Baker. We've seen it a couple times tonight.
Well, you just watched his last 4 games getting ready for this one, went back through the coach's film. Do you think his size is negatively impacting him in any way?
It's so hard to say. You know, I haven't never been that small when I played to know where those holes are. But I talked to Drew Brees once about it. He said, yeah, there are times where I have to move or get up on my toes in the pocket to see over the top of somebody.
Good kick by Colquitt. River Craycraft has space. He's brought down to the 31-yard line. Good tackle by Thomas for the Browns. So the story for these two teams, they're at the very bottom of the quote hot pursuit. They're probably less hot pursuit. They're a little bit tepid at this point, but scenarios still alive for these teams to find their way to the wild card, or in the Browns case, the division. There was a penalty flag down on that play.
Number 40, 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
There was a hold on Denver's Keyshawn, Bierria. So that's going to back them way up here with just the one timeout and 1:17 to go.
And you make an interesting point that both teams are in hot pursuit, but they went about talking about the playoffs completely different. You talk to the Browns and they said, yeah, Greg Williams brings it up every day. Playoffs. That's what we're shooting for. You know, I know we're on the outside looking in, but we talk about it. And then you talk to the Broncos and they say, nope, it's all about blinders for us. We're worried about what's happening in this building and this next game, not what's out there in front of us.
Each team's won 3 of their last 4. Browns are eliminated with a loss here tonight. Broncos, if they lose, are still mathematically alive. From the 13, they will swing it out to Deshaun Hamilton. Rookie out of Penn State with the gain. Limited, but the clock stops with 1:12 to go.
And a perfect play call here. You're going to see pressure coming from this side. And they've got Deshaun Hamilton just swinging to the opposite side, away from the pressure, into space. Good play call there.
Remember, Denver received the opening kickoff, so Cleveland will get the ball to start the second half.
Red ball 3. Red ball 3. Red ball 3. 51 to Mike. Express.
Second and 6. And Keenum will throw, and that's incomplete. It was almost another interception. He had not been intercepted much of late, but was picked off by Peppers in that last drive, and Terrence Mitchell came close to one here.
And not a bad throw, but Terrence Mitchell, as you said, does a nice job breaking on the football and cutting just underneath Patrick on that play. Hit him right in the hands. That could have been an interception there.
Cleveland might get the ball back with 3 timeouts in decent field position. The Broncos have picked up 3rd and long a few times in this first half.
20 to Mike. Ricky.
See where the pressure's going to come from here on 3rd and 6. First look was closed for Keenum. He'll just bench it, get rid of it out of the pocket, past the line of scrimmage to avoid grounding. Emmanuel Ogbah brought the pressure, and the Browns are going to get a chance here with 1:01 to go.
And you're going to see just a too high safety here and playing man underneath. One of the toughest coverages to throw against. You see blanket coverage across the board. More than anything, that was just a coverage sack, Mike. Nobody open, just has to buy some time and throw it away.
Blake Williams and his dad, they worked together on what their plan is. Had a good one on that drive. Colby Wadman to kick it. Jabril Peppers, who had the pick earlier, back deep to receive. Peppers has some room here from the 37-yard line. Tried to cut to the outside. He's got a couple of blockers. If he can get past that wave, he cannot. Well pursued to the 45-yard line, as we have 47 seconds left in this first half. So it has not been the statistical performance of Mayfield. Right. It's been more how Denver and Case Keenum have been able to handle some of the Cleveland pressure that's made this a pretty tight first half.
And I tell you what I like as well is that, you know, Cleveland comes out early and gets ahead. And you always wonder about young teams, young rosters. How are they going to respond when something doesn't go right early? Denver, a nice job with all those young players bouncing back, being able to take the lead again. And then once again, Cleveland, no panic in them, drive down, get that field goal to tie this thing up.
And the energy here for the Browns. They get the ball to start this second half. Can they do the Belichick score halftime and score again? The carry for Duke Johnson. to the 49-yard line. It feels like the Patriots do that more than any other team in the league. Timeout taken by the Browns with 41 seconds to go.
Yeah, they manage things so well, but we always talk about that double up.
Yes.
Sometime you can just steal one by getting points at the end of the half and then trying to get it right out of the second throw.
And let me ask you about Mayfield. He's missed 10 of his 15 passes tonight.
Well, here's one thing that I see. He's got a big, strong arm, which we talked about. Sometimes these guys with big, strong arms, the ball can get away from them a little bit. They can have a little trouble setting some balls in there into open spaces and allow their receivers to make plays on the ball. And you saw that tonight is some open receivers just lay the ball up and give your guy a chance, and that ball comes flying out of his hand, and he misses by 5 or 6 yards.
And Denver's pressure package in the second quarter has sped up Mayfield. He hasn't had time to escape and get out and look. There he is, throwing off his back foot, and underneath there's Duke Johnson on the run, carrying it like a loaf of bread to the sideline. Out of bounds at the 40 before Brock could hit him by the head. But it's a first down with 34 to go.
A smart move by Baker Mayfield there. You're playing for a field goal here, not necessarily a touchdown, because you do get the ball out of the second half. So everybody's running deep routes, and you just have Duke Johnson sneaking out underneath. And again, dump it off. Don't try to force something down the field. Turn the ball over. Get yourself into field goal range. Get 3 points to take the lead at the half.
Another first down. We'll get him comfortably into field goal range. Mayfield hits it again. Antonio Callaway's got that yardage as he squirts through to the 31-yard line. Timeout Browns. 26 seconds left. They have one left.
Exact same play we saw earlier. You're going to come in and out, and you got the corner route over the top. We saw earlier he forced the corner route here. Doesn't do that. Covered down the field. Dumps it off. Nice first down there.
Callaway's come along this year. He was suspended last year at Florida. Had run into multiple problems, from a positive marijuana test at the combine, a traffic stop, credit card fraud issue. And there were questions about him. The talent was there, but he slipped down to the 4th round. So far, things have gone well with him here in Cleveland. In part, Jarvis Landry has been the leader of that entire wide receiver room. And early on, you go back to Hard Knocks, watching the offseason. Todd Haley, who's the offensive coordinator, told Landry, you got to get this kid right. And so far, it's worked out. 1st and 10. Mayfield. Intercepted. Threw it towards Landry in the middle of the field. And Devontae Thomas has come up with the interception.
Well, I just gave him credit, right, for being smart and not going for the touchdown in that situation. But if there's one knock on Baker early, it's his ability, or his tendency, to jam these routes in here on these seams. Against cover 2, the open middle, it's what you're always trying to get, but there's no separation right there. You can't just force it. It was like he went back and said, I am going to make that throw no matter what. I've got that confidence that I can make it.
It was a bad throw.
Once again, we see a high throw as he's trying to rip it, but more than anything, just a bad decision in that situation. You're almost in field goal range. Dump it underneath again, get that 3 points we were talking about. Thomas,
the native of Alliance, Ohio, gets the pick against the Browns, and we've had back-to-back interceptions by former Michigan Wolverines. Thomas's first career INT. Very close to the goal line, so Keenum has to make sure he goes forward. He does, and that will take us to halftime. Each team turned it over once. Each team had a touchdown. Each team had a field goal. So let's go get something to eat and start this whole thing over again.
I'm in. Let's do it.
At the break, all tied at 10, but before halftime, here's a quick message from Lexus. Hard to be more even than that first half we had. Each team scored 10. Each team turned it over once. Both teams had 144 yards. Dead even, 10 apiece as we get set for quarter number 3 here in Denver. Mike Tirico, Kurt Warner, Peter Schrager down on the sideline. So Baker Mayfield saw a little heat. Broncos defense did a pretty good job, and now the second half to see who can really stay alive in this playoff picture. What are you looking for?
Yeah, you know, a couple things jumped out at me. Is I thought Baker missed some throws that he's been making the last few weeks. Number of them went high. Maybe he settles down in the second half, makes some of those throws. And then on the other side, the Broncos come in averaging about 130 yards rushing a game. They've got 12 here in the first half. This Cleveland Brown defense shutting down the run game.
And Mayfield's first drive was terrific, and after that, the adjustments kicked in. Keenum was picked for the first time in 5+ games, 200 pass attempts on that end zone shot that Jabril Peppers came up with the interception. Ball belonged to the Browns to start this second half as Cleveland and Baker Mayfield get their chance to retake the lead and have another good opening drive. Again, the Browns are still alive. You know, Cleveland fans, if you want to dream a little bit, your Browns win this second half. The Steelers play New England. That's going to be tough. You know, the Ravens in 2 weeks play or 1 week from tonight, actually, play the Chargers after the game against Tampa. What if all those go the Browns' way and the Browns are playing Cincinnati home game week 16 and still in the mix? All depends on what they do this half, how important it is.
You know how excited you're getting everybody in Cleveland right now. Just pumping them up.
Peppers the return to the 17-yard line. It's good to have Peter Schrager on the sideline.
In upbeat Vance Joseph just told me that the defense played well, but the running game has to get going. Only 12 yards rushing for the Broncos offense. Greg Williams, the coach of the Browns, said the team has to keep on putting the pedal to the metal. I said, do you say anything to Baker Mayfield here? Do you say, Baker, let's get it going? He says, Schrager, you don't know Baker. He does not need a talking to. He's got it under control.
You know, he probably said it that way, too. Sometimes reporters would, that's Greg Williams. Schrager, here's the deal. He brings the heat, and he's also helped Baker Mayfield and this offense have clarity of what they want to do and who they want to be. It's been part of Greg Williams taking over, and he hopes getting this job full-time. Nick Chubb, the carry to the right to the 21-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 4. So what if they win the last 3 games? Does Jimmy Haslam, the owner, and John Dorsey, the general manager, keep Greg Williams and take the interim tag away?
Well, I tell you, one theme we heard a lot this week was how guys that came to Cleveland, whether it was Greg Robinson or Rashad Perriman or Greg Williams, they have a clean slate here with what do you do for this team? Can you make this team better? Because that's the way they're going to move forward.
Williams has been a defensive coordinator, a lot of success. Also involved in Bounty Gate, suspended from the league for a year for his involvement in that when he was with the New Orleans Saints. Nick Chubb on the run, just shy of the 25-yard line. Be third and a long 2. So you're saying there's a chance. The Browns could win the division if they win out and Pittsburgh and Baltimore lose out. That is not as likely. A wild card opportunity would happen if Cleveland won and multiple losses, losing 2 of the last 3 for the Ravens, the Colts, the Titans, and the Dolphins. So it's a long shot.
Hey,
but it's a shot on
December 15th, right? It's a chance. They're loving that, Cleveland.
Here comes 3rd and 2. 4-man rush, and Mayfield throws to Duke Johnson, who's got the first down across the 30-yard line.
And you know, hearing Peter talk about what Greg Williams said about Baker remind me of the story that Greg was telling us, that when Baker Mayfield came in for his 30-minute meeting with the Cleveland Browns before the draft, he went into Greg Williams' office and said, if you draft me, practices are going to be different around here. We are going to compete at a different level offensively against you. But it just speaks to what Greg said. Hey, you don't have to pump this guy up. He's got plenty of confidence no matter what goes on around him.
They seem to fit personality-wise.
No doubt.
From the 30, it is a quick shot to Antonio Callaway, and a nice move to get away from Bradley Roby on the corner and gain 5 to the 35. And it was a funny story because Williams knew someone on the Oklahoma staff, and that person went to Mayfield and said, hey, you're going for your visit with Cleveland? You go knock on Greg Williams' door. I know he's the defensive coordinator, but you go see him and you tell him, and it lit Greg Williams. Like, that's the kind of guy I like to be around.
Wouldn't you like to witness practice, a 7-on-7, a team session with Greg Williams on one side and Baker on the other?
Challenge me, challenge you. 2nd and 5. Seth DeValve, the fullback for the moment. Patient run here by Chubb, north-south power runner. And Nick Chubb was very close to that first down, be a yard shy. Had a devastating knee injury at Georgia. Came back from that. Wasn't the great dynamic runner he was early in his Georgia days, but put up good numbers along with Sony Michel, who's done a good job with the Patriots. That backfield is so good in Georgia, part of that electric Rose Bowl national semifinal game last year in college football against Mayfield in Oklahoma. And since Carlos Hyde has been traded to Jacksonville, you see the impact Chubb's had. 3rd and short with an empty backfield. Mayfield will keep it. Oh, good second effort. He got out of the tackle, or would-be tackle, of Zach Kerr. Spun out of there and made it a 3-yard gain when it looked like it was going to be a bad play.
That's just the intensity. You see it on a quarterback sneak from Baker Mayfield, that, you know, most guys are going, they're just going to try to fall over, get across that line, but no give up here. And Baker tries to find a hole, nothing there, bounces out of it. Man, I'm going to turn this into a big play, not just a first down.
Domata Peko is there low for some leverage. Couple of first downs on this opening third quarter drive for Cleveland. Mayfield's throw complete to Callaway. Step out of bounds after that early gain to the 47-yard line.
And this is one thing Freddie Kitchens has tried to do, is give him some of these easy options, what we call an alert as a quarterback. Corner off on the right-hand side. We've got a quick out to Callaway. As a quarterback, you say, I will take this every single time. Just drop back and sling it. But he's trying to give him some of those routes that are just easy. As long as you get what you want, you don't have to overthink it. Just step back and throw it.
Mayfield 3-4-3 on this opening second half drive. Deception. Haven't seen much of that yet tonight. Just his window dressing for that handoff to Chubb, who again will set up either third and short or a first down. Let's check that spot. Initially, it looked like it was going to be a hair short of the line to gain the 48. And it is.
And I like the drive, right? It's not about pushing the ball down the field and try to make these big plays every time, as we saw in a couple drives in the first half. Let's be methodical. Let's take the routes that are there, the easy throws. Let's run the football. Let's stay ahead of the chains.
See that silver number on the football, 19. That's the number of the referee, Clay Martin. When the referees check the footballs before the game, they'll often put their uniform number on the football, so you know those are game balls approved for this one. Third and short, and they're going to throw again. Mayfield, the slant. Callaway brought it down. Good tight throw with Bradley Roby all over him. First down, Cleveland.
We always say a perfect throw can be great defense, and that's Bradley Roby right here. Nice job. He's on the back of Antonio Callaway, but that's just a perfect throw up and away, and nice hands by Callaway to reach up and grab it.
Now this mouthing has drawn a flag. It will be after the first down was gained, so if it is on Cleveland, they'll retain the ball first down but be pushed back 15 yards. Let's see what Martin and company discuss here.
Result of the play is a first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting, offense, number 11. 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. It'll be first down. This is number 11's first unsportsmanlike that would count towards a possible disqualification.
If he gets another one, he'd be gone, and that's stuff that if you're an Antonio Callaway and you know what has happened in the past, that's one of the things that you look for not to happen. You appreciate the competitiveness, but you got to know where the line is.
Well, you do, but I kind of look at the sideline and I see Greg Williams and I see Baker, and they're emotional guys that sometimes I think that can wear off on these young players. Like, man, just getting fired up, because I looked there and he was jawing a little bit, and the first down, to me, it wasn't too crazy, but you're right. You got to be smart in those kind of situations.
It remains 1st and 10, but now they're out of field goal range, so they'll have to get more yardage here. A gain of a yard or two with Zach Kerr on the tackle. You're right, and you know it because you lived it. There's a fine line between the positive you get out of the emotion and getting over the line.
No doubt. And you know, sometimes there's a lot of that jawing going on that nobody sees, and you think sometimes, hey, he's giving it to me, I'm giving it back to him. I'm going to give a little first down signal here. You know, maybe that isn't enough to get me a flag, but sometimes you got to live and learn.
2nd and 9. Mayfield fake it right, come left, Duke Johnson. The downfield block is pulled down at the 45-yard. That'd be 3rd and 3. I've always wanted to do this. I'm going to bring in Mike Pereira from Los Angeles. Nice to finally work with you, Mike, in that sharp shirt you have on. Was that a good call, do you think, on that unsportsmanlike?
Well, you know, I think it was only because he gave the big first down signal while staring right at him. I mean, you get a lot of those confrontations, but if he wouldn't have done that, I think he'd have been all right. But I think that's probably what led them to call that.
All right, pal. Good to catch up with you, Mike. Glad to work with you. 3rd and 3 coming up here for Baker Mayfield and the Browns. Broncos bring the heat. Mayfield up top. It is incomplete. So again, Denver's pressure package has forced Mayfield into his incompletions tonight. The intended receiver was Rashard Higgins.
When they're bringing the pressure, trying to get a double move, so Baker has to hold it a little too long, little outs and an up. So he was falling back, wasn't able to step into this throw, and he leaves it high. But you see the pressure coming right up the gut, falling onto his back foot, and just sails on him out of bounds.
All right, a couple things here, Kurt. It's 4th and 3. The offense has stayed on the field. Remember that penalty we talked about took them out of field goal range. And if they don't pick this up here, that flag could cost them 3 points. Going for it, too, in an interesting spot in the field in a 10-10 game in the third quarter. Mayfield scans, throws for Njoku. Flag is down as Njoku brought it in for the first down. I believe they grabbed him. You see the preliminary call from the back judge, Greg Wilson. He had the hold, and even despite the infraction, Njoku made the catch.
Prior to the pass, holding. Defense, number 34. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
You'll see the grab right here as he starts to break back to the outside. Reaches in, pulls the hip, but nice job by Baker Mayfield. Something he's done during this stretch in which they've been winning games is his ability to prolong plays. When he buys time, Mike, his eyes always stay down the field, not looking to run, looking to make a big throw.
Play 14 of the drive for the 40. First down, play action, Mayfield. Right before the hit, incomplete. The pressure came from Jeff Holland. There's a flag in the secondary. 46 Holland playing his first NFL game. These his first snaps. He got some pressure off the edge. We have multiple flags and multiple fouls. One in the secondary, one back by Mayfield. By the way, Holland is the third end rusher tonight. Shaq Barrett out with a hip injury. Shane Ray, former first-round pick, a healthy scratch.
Play. Prior to the pass, holding. Defense, number 26. Holding. Offense, number 88. Those penalties offset at the previous spot. We'll replay the down.
So it'll be first down again. It is interesting to see 46 out there in Jeff Holland, first-year player out of Auburn. The 10 sacks in the SEC last year, and you used to seeing Shaq Barrett or Shane Ray as the guys to spell Von Miller, or in this case Bradley Chubb, since he's come on, but that is not the case with Barrett out and Ray a healthy inactive here tonight.
And we've seen it a lot with both of these teams, right? A lot of young guys getting opportunities to make a name for themselves due to injuries.
Dontrell Hilliard, the rookie out of Tulane, is in the backfield. It's a pitch to Perriman. Another flag is down. As it's getting sloppy here, Perriman thrown down by Josie Jewell. Check this call.
Illegal shift. Offense. Number 19 got set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay the down.
Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. That is in less than 12 hours. Juju Smith-Schuster talking about the Steelers showdown with the Patriots. Rich Eisen, Michael Irvin, Steve Mariucci. Who's this Kurt Warner guy is going to be there? NFL Game Day morning tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern on NFL Network. Keenum awaits his opportunity. Lengthy opening drive here for the Browns to start this third quarter. First and 15. Mayfield going to run it after the fake to Chubb, and Domata Peko gets him downfield after a gain of about 9. Good run to set up 3rd and 6.
And they love to play action to get the big throws down the field. Some extra guys, you see the 2 tight ends in there to bring a little bit of an edge there so those edge rushers can't get to him. And a nice shot by Baker. Again, not going to go down and slide. He's going to get those extra few yards. And again, it's about the mentality, isn't it, Mike? The mentality that he's brought to this team.
Just the one incompletion on this drive. My mistake on the last play after all those flags. It's 2nd and 6. Play 15 of this drive that started when the quarter began. We're looking at a 10-minute run here pretty soon. Mayfield hit as he throws. The ball comes out, and it's ruled a fumble and a recovery by Denver. Derek Wolfe, the recovery, got us with the pressure. Now, empty hand comes through. Usually that indicates correct call, fumble.
This NFL Network special is brought to you by Sleep Number. This is not a bed, it's your competitive edge.
Very long drive, bringing Mike Pereira. Mike, what did you see on that play?
Exactly what you saw, Mike. It's called the empty hand. The hand started forward without control of the ball. You see it come out of his hand first, and replay, they'll say it's a turnover. Why wasn't this reviewed? Well, it was confirmed by the replay official upstairs. And so if he can confirm the call is right, then they don't have to stop the game to have an official review. And that's what the replay official did.
It's a good point. It keeps it going. Mike, you taught me all that language, the right words to use all those years ago. Thanks for the lessons, man.
you picked it up right off the bat, that's for sure.
Assist from Pereira. Thank you, Michael, from the 40-yard line. First drive of this second half for Case Keenum in Denver in a 10-10 game. Keenum on the roll. There's nothing there, so just throw it right at the feet of Royce Freeman and kill the play, bring up second down.
Man, what a great drive to start the half by Cleveland, too. Moving the football down the field, run, pass, everything going well there. But you saw the pressure start to get to Baker a couple times there. On the one he had to throw out of bounds, and then the last one, once again, they were going for a double move where he's having to hold the football. Gotts able to get there and create the turnover.
Terrific job done by the Denver pass rush in those third and longer situations tonight, taking Mayfield out of rhythm. Royce Freeman remains the back. 2nd and 10. And the cross is hung on to by Tim Patrick. First down. Big run after the catch for Patrick. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Gain of 24.
You see Patrick right here. Just a quick little shallow route across the field. A little bit of a rub. It looked like the defender there, Carey, ran into his own guy, which created the separation in the big play.
Tim Patrick, who had 11 catches on the season coming in, the first-year player out of Utah, has 4 tonight. One of 8 players to catch a pass for the Broncos here this evening. Now their rookie Philip Lindsay back in. The running game stifled again this week. They're loading the box, so Keenum has to do it in the air. And he does with a pass to Lindsay. Takes it to the 30-yard line. We mentioned Patrick a moment ago. Peter Schrager, it's been a breakthrough month for that young man.
It sure has. He had a big game last week against the 49ers. Great story about him. Went undrafted. He was with the Ravens the first year, and in training camp and before training camp OTAs, said his whole family brought Tim Patrick Ravens jerseys. July comes along. He's waived by the Ravens. Said he learned his lesson. He says, just take it one day at a time. Enjoy this experience with the Broncos. You don't want to have all these old jerseys of a team you're not on anymore.
He was on San Francisco's roster, the practice squad here. Those are the stories because of injury you hear late in the season, and often it earns jobs for next year, here or elsewhere. Lindsay runs right into the waiting arms of Emmanuel Ogbah, but he took him forward for a first down, and the Broncos will keep this drive going to the 25 in this 10-10 game.
There he is, toughness, right? You see a small guy out there, you think speed, but we've seen it a number of times tonight, just like right there. Gets the contact, doesn't stop him, continues to carry Ogbah for the first down.
Undrafted, his dad Troy has been his coach for so much of his life. It was his dad's record for the Denver Public High School rushing all-time lead that he broke at Denver South High School. Go backwards there, lose a yard. Larry Ogunjobi goes up and makes the tackle. I was talking to Philip on the phone this week. He's just such a neat kid. I mean, when you go to college and you get out of college and you have to go live in mom and dad's basement, it's usually not a good story.
Usually not.
But this is a great story. He's living with mom and dad. He's a free agent. He's not making a lot of bucks, so he's saving some money. He's with mom and dad, and his dad, who is that running back set of eyes, because he played the position in high school well, they talk about every run, every game. Such a neat father-son story right here in Denver. Hometown kid makes good. Tough night tonight. 2nd and 10. Pressure off the edge by Garrett. Perhaps he was offside as that pass is completed to Brian Parker. Myles Garrett got the jump on the left tackle, Garrett Bowles. Maybe too soon.
Offside. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty. Replay second down.
We've talked about it a couple times tonight, how these guys are always studying that offensive tackle. How do I get that little bit of an edge, and that time a little bit too much of an edge by Myles Garrett.
There's Von Miller on the other side, the great sack specialist for Denver, who's telling us all the little things he looks for. Tension in the leg, weight on another leg, tension in your hands before the snap. What do you tell us time after time? That's what they work on during the week. 2nd and 5, Keenum. All these short passes, and now Cleveland's rallying to the ball and not letting any yards after the catch happen. Deshaun Hamilton erased by Jabril Peppers.
And then you had Bradley Chubb saying, and look at all the stuff that I'm learning from these guys. I never even thought about some of that stuff that Vaughn was talking about, but they've given him a little bit of an education on how to be an edge rusher in the National Football League.
Chubb has to present to the other defensive edge rushers all the tendencies of the opposing left tackle.
I love that.
Now Keenum's hoping his left tackle Bowles can keep Garrett out of the backfield. 3rd and 8. Keenum flushed and throws incomplete. It was a very compact offense those last 4 or 5 plays. All short, quick throws, nothing happening. Field goal attempt coming.
Well, and it was actually good protection right here for Case Keenum. He could have stayed in there and waited for somebody to come open, but for some reason he took off running to the right, had to force a low throw instead of just staying in the pocket and seeing what might develop.
So McManus, good earlier from 44 yards. Will try this one from 42 to give Denver the lead. And he bangs it through. Broncos retake the lead by 3. These franchises, of course, in the 80s were both good, some terrific games, 3 AFC championship games in a 4-year stretch. The franchises even before that have had some terrific players, Hall of Fame players. We salute all the legends of the Broncos and the Browns as we watch these teams meet in Game 3 of Week 15 of this 2018 NFL season. Denver has won the last 11 matchups with these teams. The Browns trying to erase some history, and they'll take over the 25, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Simply explained by this young man from Ohio. Yeah, you still have a chance. No Thursday game next week. It starts Saturday with the doubleheader, Week 16, Washington, Tennessee. And then we will be in Los Angeles for the Chargers and the Ravens. Terrific game. These are the big games coming up as Week 15 continues. Some of the big games to keep an eye on tomorrow on CBS, Fox, and Sunday Night Football on NBC with the Eagles and the Rams. Pats Steelers on CBS, that late national afternoon game. Terrific slate. First down run, Nick Chubb into the clear. Flag is down as Chubb gets into the secondary and all the way to the 40-yard line. If it stands, a big gain of 35, but hold the phone. Explosive play Cleveland had been looking for. Looks like it's coming back.
Holding. Offense. Number 78. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
As the left tackle Greg Robinson negating that 35-yard gain.
And you're going to see right here as he's trying to get up on the linebacker. Got a little bit of grab there on Mike Davis. See the turn of the shoulders right there, right in front of the official. Easy call to make.
It was right there, especially the official, the back judge who called that. He sees those 2 hands covering up the 5 and the 1. Robinson, the former number 2 overall pick with the Rams as a starter. It did not work with the Rams organization. He was with the Lions for 6 games last year. That didn't work. He got hurt and was waived, but has had a resurrection here of his career, starting his last 6 games. Playing well, but a key penalty twice last week and once here. Comes back from the spot, so it's 1st and 17. And Chubb drops that. Josie Jewell there on the coverage. It's 2nd down.
And I think this kid is so talented that they can start to do some of these things with him. Normally that's a Duke Johnson type play where you put him out there on the edge and have him run the one-on-one slant. But they feel he's got the ability to do this. Obviously, you got to make that catch, but if they can start doing things like that and get him out in space, such a tough runner between the tackles, but be tough to bring down out there in space.
Final minute of this 3rd quarter. Browns had it for the first 9 minutes, 11 seconds of the quarter, but turned it over on the Mayfield fumble. Chubb, inside run to the 21-yard line. So now, Kurt, here comes the down game. Get me the quarterback in the play caller's head. Oh, we have flag downfield as Brashard Perriman was involved and a hat is thrown as well, which means a 2nd infraction. Jamar Taylor and Perriman were involved downfield.
See it here at the end. You got a hand that went up into the face and the other one retaliates, and you know how that goes, Mike. Usually the 2nd guy in gets the penalty, and then Petco joins in here, and looks like we got a 2nd one on the Broncos.
That's interesting. Is that 2nd one on Petco or is it on Perriman? Was Pecco on the field for the play? Did he come from the sideline or from down by the run action? I didn't see that. There have been some key penalties in this third quarter. The flag that took the Browns out of field goal range on Callaway. The hold on Robinson here that negated the 35-yard gain by Chubb. And now all the on-field officials trying to sort this one out. The field judge Mike Weatherford over for an explanation to Vance Joseph, the second-year Broncos coach.
And the timing on it as well. Here you have third and long type situation if this is on the Broncos to give.
And they're going a long time here without talking to each other. They may be in conversation with New York to see what was seen there. I'm going to bring Mike Pereira in here in a second. Mike, why don't we hang on for Clay Martin's call first, and then you tell me what you can sort out of this. Here's Clay.
There are fouls by both teams after the play was over. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 39. That player has been disqualified.
Okay.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 19. Those penalties will offset at the dead ball spot.
Mike, is Jamar Taylor the corner tossed for the Broncos because of the punch?
Yeah, exactly, and that was the delay, and that is new this year, that if the officials on the field rule disqualification, then it goes to New York and Al Riveron, and then he will look at it to make sure that there was contact, and if he confirms that, then he will go ahead and confirm the disqualification, and that's what created that delay.
And as the guy who sat in Al's seat as the former vice president of officiating, do you like the fact that in an ejection situation, New York, by rule, can talk and communicate directly with Clay Martin on the field?
Well, I wouldn't have wanted to during my time, but you know, I would prefer decisions be made on the field. But when you look at it kind of as a safety net, so that you can get confirmation from New York, especially when you disqualify something, when you're only dealing with the 46-man roster, I'm okay with that because I like that extra step of confirmation.
And that's the point I was driving at, Mike. The ejection, that's a big thing because now you lose your third corner for this game. So thanks for the perspective, Mike. So the key point that Clay Martin said, it's dead ball after the play, so it remains third and long. And Kurt, I'll come back to the point I started to make to you. What do you think as a quarterback and a play caller here, given what the Broncos have been doing?
Well, not a lot of plays in the playbook, especially when you have a quarterback that likes to push the ball down the field. Don't want to make a mistake in this area of the field, so you go with the safe, quick little wide receiver screen to the running back.
A timeout taken by Denver. They want to get set up. So we're back in 30 after this from Marriott. All right, I want to get right down to Peter Schrager because we had one corner ejected. The reason he was on the field, Peter, is an injury to another corner.
Yeah, and there's actually two corners out. Brendan Langley, one of the corners out with a concussion, but Bradley Roby, the starting corner, left this drive. Questionable return. It looks like he bit his tongue. They're calling it a face laceration. But that is three cornerbacks that were expected to play are all off the field right now for the Broncos.
And you have the Chris Harris injury coming in, so essentially they're out of backup corners given the players who they brought in. So that's why they took the timeout. They want to get organized for this play. Mayfield is pressured, and you don't need a corner when you have the all-time Broncos sack leader. Von Miller gets the record on that play.
Something that the Broncos love to do is the twist plays. You're going to see Von Miller here start up the field and then twist back underneath. Derek Wolfe there creating a little bit of interference and a free run for Miller on Baker.
He breaks Simon Fletcher's all-time Bronco record. Who needs corners when I've got that guy to get a sack? End of the quarter. Broncos lead by 3. Graphic confirmation of Von Miller passing Simon Fletcher, one of the Ring of Honor members here in Denver for his great play for a decade plus. He's the all-time sack leader in Denver Broncos history. It forces fourth down and came at a key moment with an injured secondary. So Britton Colquitt will have to kick out of his own end zone. Good kick. It's 55 yards, sending River Craycraft back to the 33, and a good open field tackle as the flag comes down. Craycraft stopped by Tavier Thomas of the Browns. And we have a penalty marker thrown and a hat off from the side judge, Brad Freeman.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 34. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
A fellow, Will Parks, will back him up a bit more.
Well, and the amazing thing, Vaughn's only 8 years in.
That's right.
I mean,
that's right.
He already took over the #1 spot, only 8 years in. Unbelievable. And you got a little help on this last one, though. You're going to see Derek Wolf right here coming up, and he kind of picks Hubbard on this particular play as they run the little twist, giving an edge for Von Miller to use that speed to get inside for the sack.
What Vaughn said he's so appreciative of is that he's been able to do it in one uniform with one locker with one team. Is a great success that he has had. So back up to the 20. Keenum on first down with a deep shot. That is an interception waiting for T.J. Carey, who's inbounds. And so this more aggressive Broncos offense up 3. They go for the deep shot. T.J. Carey's waiting for his 4th career interception. Browns ball.
This NFL Network special is brought to you by the Lexus December to Remember sales event, now through January 2nd.
Beautiful to be in Denver in the holiday season, and Broncos Stadium at Mile High. It's a sold-out Broncos home game, like every Broncos home game since 1970. 402 in a row. The fans a little concerned after that one. An interception, backed up at their own 20 with a 3-point lead. The defense gaining momentum. So the Browns have glorious field position at the 48 for Baker Mayfield. First down fire is fought for, and Landry with those strong hands comes up with the catch. Gain of 13, first down Cleveland. We go back to the pick.
And you're going to see a too-high shell here by Cleveland, which allows Carey right here to cover the flat, and they don't get anybody out into the flat, so he just falls back the entire time. Case, as he turns his head off the play fake, has got to find that guy covering the flat. Didn't find him. Throws it out there. Easy interception.
Keenum, no interceptions last 5 games. 2 here tonight. Been a very limited offensive half for Denver. That was just the start of their 2nd drive. Mayfield gives to Chubb, looking for space, but the middle is stopped up there. Jeff Holland and Josie Jewell, a couple of rookies. So many young players on this Broncos team. It'll set up a 2nd down here.
Situation here where the Browns have to find a way to finish. Been down here a couple times, at the interception at the end of the first half, at the penalty earlier, forced him out of field goal range. Got to find a way to get down there and get points out of this drive.
Kirk, they've got to go out. They've got one cornerback on the field. Denver's got a bunch of safeties and corners. They have got to throw and be aggressive and take advantage of the ejection and the injuries. Mayfield in trouble. Flushed by Chubb. Double clutch fire. Sideline. Toe tap. And a catch. A lot of stuff happened, and Rashard Higgins brings it into the 16-yard line.
Well, and just once again, a great job of buying time by Baker Mayfield. Coming to the right, looking to wrap that one in there. Avoids Chubb. Look at this throw to the back shoulder. Nice little toe tap by Higgins on that one.
And they hurry up to the line before a challenge can come. It's Duke Johnson on the edge. Duke Johnson inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. Vance Joseph was watching the replay on the big board along with you, right by an official, ready to throw the challenge flag if needed. He felt it was too close and too tight. So here come the Browns in the red zone. The first time tonight. They've been dynamite the last few weeks.
Well, you wonder why they win 3 out of 4. You go 11 for 11 in the red zone, and Freddie Kitchens told us the big key has been being able to run the football. As the windows get tighter down here, they've been having a lot of success of scoring by running the football and not having to put it in Baker Mayfield's hands.
Mike Pereira back in L.A. watching with us thinks Vance did the right thing, not challenge that. He thought it was a catch. From the 8, underneath, it's Landry. Fighting forward, he'll be stopped shy of the 2. Probably marking the 3, but it's a first down. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Browns here. 2.5 into this 4th quarter. The winner keeps those slim playoff hopes alive and wins 4 out of 5. If Cleveland loses, they are eliminated. Denver loses, they have an almost impossible road to the postseason.
And Baker down here, you talk about 11 for 11 for the Browns. He's got 15 touchdowns to 0 interceptions on the year inside the red zone, so been very efficient as well.
Duke Johnson remains the back, first and goal. Cleveland for the lead. Mayfield. Touchdown. Callaway. Rookie to rookie, and the Browns take the fourth quarter lead.
Make that 16, right? Just a quick little slant to the left, and you saw him moving guys around and looked like changed the play right there. One-on-one. Nice little release by Callaway. Easy throw and catch, something that Baker does really well.
And I got to give your old friend Freddie Kitchens some credit there. And Justin Simmons is a safety. Sometimes he'll play slot corner, but he's lined up there outside where he usually isn't. Go right to him with Callaway on the slant. Take advantage of the personnel disadvantage. Extra point added by Greg Joseph. Cleveland Browns get good field position after the turnover and cash it in. And they retake the lead by 4. You cannot tell the history of the Browns and the Broncos without January 11, 1987, Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. 15 plays, 98 yards, 5 minutes and 2 seconds. In his 4th year in the league, John Elway to tie the game with 37 seconds left. Ripped it to Mark Jackson. They won in overtime on a Rich Carlos field goal. John Elway and that drive has been talked about for decades and generations in both Cleveland and obviously a disappointed sense, but in a positive sense out here in Denver. These teams meeting 3 out of 4 years. The following year is the Ernest Biner fumble at Old Mile High. The Browns have not beaten the Broncos in the last 11 regular season tries, but they've got a chance here with a lead, 11:44 to go. Well, excellence off the field is recognized every year by the Walter Payton Man of the Year presented by Nationwide. Excellence on the field, positive impact off the field. Christian Kirksey, the linebacker captain who's injured for the Browns, Cleveland's nominee, as each team, as you know, has a nominee, and Von Miller, the outstanding player, does so much great work in this Denver area. First graders, Denver Public Schools, among the charitable endeavors he's involved with. The Walter Payton Man of the Year, NFL honors night before the Super Bowl when it gets handed out. NFL.com/Man of the Year for more info about that. Lindsey with the carry, and he is stopped. Anthony Zettel and Trevon Coley come up with the big stop. It'll be 2nd down.
This Browns defense doing a great job against the run. We said they've been better in this last 4-game stretch, and you're going to see right here there's no place to go. Pressure up the middle, pressure from the side. And just going back to the Walter Payton Man of the Year, I tell you what, I love what they do with the jerseys and putting the patches on there and recognizing the guys from each team that stand out for what they do in the community.
Couldn't agree more. That's the words of one of the winners of one of the great NFL individual awards. Keenum complete to Tim Patrick, and he will get the first down. Nice job by Patrick to lower the shoulder, get past Terrence Mitchell. A gain of 12 to the 36-yard line. You know, since the Walter Payton Man of the Year always gets the patch on the jersey, I think you should get one in the studio. So we can get Eisen and the guys to get one for your jacket. I want to see that either tomorrow or next week.
I actually want them to make up an old jersey of mine because I wasn't fortunate to have a patch on one of my jerseys. You know, you go to the Super Bowl, you get the Super Bowl patch on one, but that would be a really cool memento to have.
All right, Arizona Cardinals, you're on notice. Mark Dalton, their PR man, has been one of the best in the league. Put you to work. Gain of 4 in the middle there for Lindsey. So where can Denver go here? Down 4. Don't have to panic. What's the best offensive plan here for this drive?
Well, I tell you what, you know, we talked coming in that Vance Joseph said, hey, we need you to sling the ball down the field, Case. But we've seen him do that a couple times tonight, and they've turned into interceptions. Where they've had their best success is run the football, have a little bit of success there, get Case outside the pocket, or these short throws is where they're having the most success when they're scoring tonight.
Second and 7. First look covered. Check down Lindsey. He'll run for the first down and more. Philip Lindsey to the 45-yard line. Gain of 16 moves the chains.
Nothing better for a quarterback when you can dump it off and get a big play. He was looking to go to the right, and Cleveland rolled to a cover 2 defense. Nice job by Case Keenum not to panic. Finds your check down, and once again, that guy in space can lead to a big play. You don't have to throw it a long ways down the field.
It's been a nice job tonight, given the lack of experienced personnel on the outside, of of spreading the ball around. The game plan, Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator, and Case Keenum. Game's thrown 35 times tonight. It's now Royce Freeman, the rookie, with the run to the 39, maybe the 40-yard line. Lamar can gain of 5. You know, before the season, Kurt, Musgrave thought this might be his back. 28, Freeman, the rookie out of Oregon. They took him in the 3rd round. He came off his impressive numbers playing for the Ducks. Ended up 7th in the FBS with over 5,000 yards, but Lindsey won the job.
But they both done great. I mean, they lead the National Football League as far as 2 backs on one team with the most yards. I mean, more than Kamara and Ingram. I mean, they're doing a great job. But yeah, one guy had to take the lead, and Philip Lindsay is taking that role.
Keenum, complete to Deshaun Hamilton to the 25-yard line for the first down.
You love it. You're just going to see him push up and come to the inside off the play fake, hold the linebackers. A nice throw by Case Keenum to split the linebackers on that one.
Top 2 running backs, rookies. Top 2 wide receivers, rookies. Tight end, 4th and 5th option. Somehow Vance Joseph and this Broncos staff has kept most games close, trying to hang in the playoff chase here. Number 25, Keenum. Underneath, just going to be a gain of a yard, nothing more for Royce Freeman. Has not been used much in the pass game this year, just 5 grabs all season before that one.
Well, and you mentioned how they've won this year, and it has been playing really good defense, keeping low-scoring games, and making that one drive in the 4th quarter. As I mentioned earlier, 4 of their 6 wins have come with a 4th quarter scoring drive to put them over the top.
It's a great point. Vance said, you know, when you look at Case Keenum's season, his best play has been right here. Close, late, solid decisions, good drives. More often than not, success. Lindsey empties out the backfield. 2nd and 9. Keenum taking a shot downfield. Hamilton got tied up with the DB. No call. We'll have 3rd down coming up.
When you're going to see just a miscommunication by these two, you're going to have the corner route from the inside, but it's all about the angle. Case is expecting him to take a touchdown angle. He takes a flat angle. If he makes that a little bit more towards that back pylon, Mike, there's a chance for a touchdown there. But we talk about working with young receivers and not having a chance to see every situation. That was a miscommunication right there.
3rd and 9, field goal will make it a 1-point game halfway through the 4th quarter. Interesting decision coming if they don't get the 1st down. Here comes the Browns' pressure. There goes Keenum. Pass is caught right at the stripe. Did Hamilton get to the 15? Where's that spot coming? Oh boy, decision time coming here. Kurt, it's 4th and a foot.
And after the catch, he turned and kind of reached that football out a little bit where I thought maybe he had got to that line to gain.
The official sticks are on the other side, but usually they mark a 1st down right at a big line. That looks like that mark could be challenged and move forward.
A nice job there at the end to just kind of stick that left arm out. And I agree with you. I think he got past that line.
And it will be a challenge here from Vance Joseph. So we'll get New York involved. Al Riveron will look. We'll get LA involved. Mike Pereira will give you his opinion. We'll see if this is a 1st down or not for Deshaun Hamilton of the Broncos. Busy 2nd half. Referee Clay Martin looking. Mike Pereira, a big enough bright line and a spot to change the spot on the field. What do you think?
Well, you always look for a big line, and you have it here. And this is the down judge's side, so the actual official changes you said on the other side. But you see him extend, and he's just got to get to the 15. And to me, I think it's enough to change. I mean, it's a big play because you're looking at 4th and 1 versus a 1st down. But I think when he extends with that left hand, I believe that's enough to put him to the line, and then that would make it a 1st down.
And what's always tough here is it's where the ball is when it crosses the sideline. You never have that look from above to totally sink that in. But Clay Martin's off the horn, if you will, with Al Riveron in New York. They're going to move the chains, but here's the official call.
After review, when the runner's foot stepped out of bounds, the ball was beyond the line to gain. It will be a 1st down with the ball just inside the 15-yard line. Then we will not be charged a timeout. Please set the game clock to 7 minutes and 3 seconds, 7:03.
And they can earn a 3rd challenge if they challenge successfully again in the last 5:03 before the 2-minute warning. Jabril Peppers thought he had him. He did not. Our thanks to Mike back in the studio. And now, Kurt, here we go at the 15-yard line. The Broncos keep this drive alive down 4.
Well, and you got to get a touchdown here, right? So what's the plan of action? Do you try to throw it down the field where they haven't had great success? Do you continue to do what you're doing? And they do a great job of moving Case Keenum down here. Wouldn't be surprised if they try a sprint out or a naked in a situation like this.
He usually doesn't win these games where he's thrown 40 times, but in position to do it here. From the 15, toss Lindsey to the right. Lead block from Valdir inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. They got the tackle out there to pave a path for a gain of 8 on first down.
And you just see the explosiveness of Phillip Lindsay when you can get him out in space and just running a 40-yard dash. And it almost looks like the Browns, they can't really tell how fast he's going in a situation like that. They take a bad angle. He's able to get outside and turn it up the field.
He is 0 to 60 quick.
Yes, he is.
Marketing in 7 out at the 8. 2nd and 3 for the first down. 8 for the go-ahead touchdown. Lindsey again, inside run this time. The Browns are there, so they got outside successfully on that last play. This is 3rd and 1, and now you get down to 6 minutes. You start thinking, getting to the point where each team may have just one offensive drive left. So will that impact your thinking down here if you don't get the first down?
Exactly. Do you feel you can run this, which is your bread and butter, if you're going to go for it on 4th down? Or do you feel this is your opportunity, so you need to throw, get the first down, and get 1st and goal?
The nervous noise going through Mile High here. Lindsey the long back. Spread formation. Play clock at 0. It should be delay a game. Oh, they could have delay a game there. Lindsey is stopped. And the ball comes out when it's whistled down at the 6. The mechanic for the official is C00, then look back for the ball. And that was really close. There's the official in the back looking. C00, look, is the ball still there? And that was in real time. That should have been delay a game. It's 4th down, and he's going to go for a field goal here.
Wow, this is one of those, but you feel really confident in your defense, right? Your defense is what's won a lot of games for you. Feel like you can go out there and get one more stop, and we talk about it. Case has been great in these moments. Give them a couple minutes on the clock. Only need 3 points. Vance is feeling pretty good about that.
Play clock running down here, but good job by a veteran kicker, McManus. 5 yards doesn't mean a darn thing to him here, whether it's going to be 24 or 29. So he's just going to wait, take the 5 yards. If Greg Williams wants to take the 5 yards, he could decline it here.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
They'll take it. Back him up. So interesting decision here. 4:39. You're going to count on your defense with 2 timeouts left to get the ball back and give your offense a chance for a game-winning field goal.
But you have to feel like that's the right decision when you look at this football team, right? Is what's really carried them all year long has been their defense. And you have to assume that when the Browns come back out, are they going to let Baker throw it around? Are they going to try to win this thing? Do they play conservative where you get a chance to get the ball back?
So back this up to 29. 2 for 2 so far for McManus. And he makes it 3 for 3 on the night. 4:36 left. 1-point game. And the Browns offense get the job done. Where's it Von time? Time to check out tonight's Captains of Delivery, delivered by Pizza Hut. The quarterback numbers. Mayfield has had a better second half. 2 touchdowns, another multiple touchdown game for Baker. Case Keenum has thrown it 40 times tonight. And after no picks in his last 5 games, 2 here tonight. The last one set up the Cleveland touchdown on the last drive. His kickoff will go back and be a touchback. And here come the Browns with 4:35 to go. So the NFL that you played in, that you got in the Hall of Fame by playing in, it was an NFL where you would see, well, 4:35 left, kick the field goal, play defense. Right. Exactly what's happening here. The NFL we've watched this year, which is spread it and throw it and score 40 points, it's an aggressive 4th down. Let's go make the first down. So what do you think Vance Joseph is deciding on to go here with play defense?
Well, it's interesting here. Now you got the #1 pick, right? Are you going to let him go win this game? I mean, you're Cleveland. You got nothing to lose, but you know Vance Joseph is saying, let our defense win this game for us.
Here we go. From the 25, it's Chubb to the left, and Chubb in the clear. Midfield, safety to beat. Chubb brought down inside the 35-yard line. They rip the big run. Justin Simmons makes the tackle after a gain of 40.
You're going to see a good block out here and a lead here Nice gap. Oh, he splits actually in between Robinson and the defender right there to make the play. I saw that happen one other time with Marshall Faulk, where he went in between his guy and the defender. But great run, and I just said, you leave it up to your defense, who has been so good against the run for the most part this season, and you give up the big one.
That is absolutely great. He went between Robinson and Chubb on that game. Wow. Maybe it was Vaughn. I couldn't catch the number. Should have been Vaughn on that side. Here's a run inside again for a couple of yards. The cornerback Bradley Roby, who had that injury Peter talked about in the third quarter, is back in there. And now that I see, as the timeout's taken here by Denver, they've got one left. Now that I see the alignment, maybe that was Bradley Chubb, his cousin, who he got between. Playoff picture for a reminder. Houston got the win earlier today, game one of this doubleheader, 29-22 over the Jets. So the Texans are a little bit of help away from clinching a playoff spot tomorrow. New England and Pittsburgh division leaders meet. We're going to see the Chargers and the Ravens 1 week from tonight at StubHub in Los Angeles. And all these teams who are battling, trying to get in. And the loser tonight, if it's Cleveland, they're done. If it's Denver, they're virtually done.
Well, and if you're Greg Williams or Freddie Kitchens right here, what are you saying to yourself? I mean, what do we have to lose? We have to win this football game. Do you go for it here, meaning throw the football, try to score that touchdown and put this game away? Do you hand it off, let the clock run down, hope you get into field goal range and give it back to Denver?
Also, a couple of yards away from being in field goal range. Denver has a little defensive personnel confusion. They made late subs to match the Browns, and they had 12 guys on the field. That's why I was delayed. I was trying to count them. They had 12 on the field, and all their injuries in the secondary and everything else, the Browns made a late substitution out of their huddle. The Broncos tried to match it, and then they brought on another defensive back. That's going to cost them 5 yards here, which is huge at this point in the game.
No doubt about it. We talk about all the different injuries and trying to mix and match who goes in on what personnel grouping. 3 tight end set there, or 2 tight end set and a fullback. Confused the Broncos a little bit, as you said, and so they're running different guys on the field trying to figure it out.
5-yard penalty, second down.
The whole scenario started with a late sub after the timeout from Denver, or from Cleveland, and they did that while they were in their huddle. It had the linebackers switch, Josie Jewell 47 and Brandon Marshall 54, and then an extra DB came out, and that's where the confusion happened. Vance Joseph unhappy that they didn't have the chance to match the sub with Cleveland. And that's what he's giving an earful to Danny Short, the down judge, about that right now.
But a huge 5-yard penalty in that situation. Huge.
Now it's 2nd and 3. Toss. Chubb, but left. First down. And more to the 19-yard line. Nick Chubb's running, big part of this game. He's closing in on 100 yards.
And it's the yards after contact. Coming in one of the best in the National Football League at after contact runs. And you'll see it here, bouncing off a guy there and another guy there and running through a guy. But that's the guy, that runner you love to have in a 4-minute offense, right? You know you're going to give him the ball. Everybody in the building knows you're going to give him the ball. Can he create positive yards in those kinds of situations? Chubb did a great job of that there.
And now we start playing the clock game, because Denver has 1 timeout and a 2-minute warning here. Cleveland, if they keep the ball on the ground, is going to force Denver back to the wall here a little bit. Chubb inside run to the 17. Broncos will not take their final timeout here at 2:44.
This is one of those situations that, if you're really trying to take this thing and win this thing, everybody in the building thinks you're going to run the football. A chance for a play-action play right here, and maybe get a guy down the field, maybe get a touchdown here, steal a touchdown, and maybe win this thing outright. But again, do you have the guts to do that when so much is on the line?
Here's Chubb over 100 yards, 101. Third time he has a 100-yard game this season. Got that 2-minute warning coming. After this play, the Broncos will call a timeout after this run by Chubb to the left. Stop at the 15. Now it's 2:04, 2:03. Vance Joseph's not going to take. He's going to preserve the 1 timeout. Let those 4 extra seconds tick off. Keep that in the back of your mind. 2-minute warning. And the biggest play of the game coming up. Coming up on the network, U.S. Army postgame show. Chris Rose, Terrell Davis, Willie McGinnis on the field. Talk to the star of the game on the set, preview Sunday's game. So here we go. Kurt, why not take the time out there for the 4 seconds? A big reason.
Yeah, you try to save those 4 seconds, but you realize it gives Cleveland the opportunity to run or pass because the 2-minute warning is going to stop it anyway. So nice job by Vance Joseph to let that run down.
3rd and 6. Mayfield will throw here, trying to get to his tight end, and it's caught. Njoku reaching forward, but is out of bounds first. So he's going to be out of bounds, 2 yards short of the first down, or maybe a yard short. A yard short of the first down. It's going to be 4th down. He went out of bounds, so the Broncos are going to preserve the timeout. That's the only negative there for Cleveland. And 4th and 1.
Yeah, I don't know, Mike. He had a great effort there at the end. Get that long arm out there. Nice throw up over the top. But you see it.
Left arm.
Man.
Left arm coming out of bounds.
That's close.
Ball's marked at the 10-yard line. 4th and 1. Play clock running down here. Cleveland going to get a timeout? What's going to happen? Let's see. Clay Martin has stopped it. And will it be looked at?
The previous play
is
now under further review.
All right, they're going to review it to see what happened there on 4th and 1. So we'll take a look here. Al Riveron, it's been a busy replay half in New York. They'll look. Mike Pereira will join us from L.A. as he sees it. So the arm goes out of bounds as he stretches forward.
Man.
So this might be a case where you have to stitch a few replays together to get the full evidence picture. The line to gain was the 9-yard line. He's got to get past the 10 to the 9. So there's the elbow out of bounds as he's reaching forward. Not at the full stretch of the forward reach, and he's down by contact there. So where's the ball when that elbow comes down? Let's see.
The elbow lands in bounds first before he slides out, and it looks like it's the full extension. That's going to be really close.
Yeah, the fist is on the 10-yard line. So as they stitch this together, Mike, what do you see?
Well, I mean, we're looking at here from all the different angles. I think he did not give him enough on the spot. I think you could move it up closer to the 9-yard line, but I'm not sure you can overturn it without a shot that we have right down the line. The last one, you pretty much had a shot right down the line. This one's a little bit tougher. I'm just not so sure that they have enough that they can overturn it, you know, to a first down. Maybe move it a little bit further and measure. We might see that.
Yeah, is when the elbow comes down matches with when the fist is down. So where's the ball at that point? And if you stitch those things together and say you had to get to the 9, Mike's key point comes up there. You don't have a look straight down the 9-yard line. Right. So it's a really tough one. All right, let's see what Al Riveron in New York has decided, along with Clay Martin. And also, when he comes down, does he come down out of bounds? Make sure that the clock will still stop here. Broncos have one timeout, 1:53 left. And here's Clay.
After review, the ruling on the field does stand as called. The runner was short of the line to gain. It will be 4th down. Please put 10 seconds on the play clock. 10 seconds on the play clock.
Okay, 10 seconds.
As the clock will start, Denver will call their 3rd and final timeout of the half. Their 3rd and final timeout, 30 seconds.
Okay, so the Broncos are going to have to take their final timeout there as they mark it. So there's the stitching together of the fist down where the ball is shy of the 9. It stays at the 10. Denver is now out of timeouts. They had to take it because it would have restarted. The play clock's at 10. The field goal unit is not out there to make it a 4-point game, which would force Denver to score a touchdown. So Cleveland's going to put all the chips on the table here and try to get the first down and end the game.
Yeah, or you take the approach that, right, we'll put it back in their defense's hands where Case Keenum has to drive his team the full length of the field to get that first down. But I like the call here. Why not? You know, you're in this situation. You're building confidence in your football team. Show them that you trust them and give them an opportunity to win this football game.
First down wins the game. Hard count trying to get the offside called. And Greg Williams took a timeout just as that was happening.
Timeout.
Oh.
Cleveland, they're first.
So they go hard count to try to get the guy in the neutral zone, and watch Greg Robinson. I think it's Robinson, the left tackle, reacting to the motion, trying to get the neutral zone infraction. There's the jump, and if you keep going, you'll see Robinson react to try to tag him in the neutral zone. As Williams, the head coach, is coming down to call the timeout from the top. And the timeout is recognized by the official who would have called the neutral zone infraction on that play. Wow. And Mike Pereira confirms it would have been neutral zone infraction, 5 yards, game over. But Williams' timeout denies that. And we'll do it all again. Everybody on their feet. Place going nuts. 4th and 1. Browns for the win. Shove. No! Adam Gotsis. Broncos alive.
Well, and a great job right here to split the blockers and get just inside to be able to create the tackle for a loss back there. What a huge play by Gotsis.
The wind is negligible. McManus can kick 50-plus yard field goals, meaning you get down by the 35 or 40, you got a chance. The Broncos are out of timeouts. They need 47 yards to get into legitimate field goal range.
What have we said all night? This is where Case Keenum has been at his best all year long. Not necessarily carrying the team, but when you need that one drive, does he have a little more magic in him?
Does Cleveland bring their pressures? Do they play it straight and play coverage? Devontae Booker's the back. Buck 49 to go. Here's the pressure. Picked up. Flag down. Keenum complete to Matt LaCosse. To the 28. Let's check the flag. It's offside on the Browns.
Offside. Defense, number 95. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Myles Garrett.
Well, you got your answer right there, right? Trying to bring the pressure off the edge, and as we talked about with Von Miller, right, in a situation like that, 5-yard loss or a huge sack, willing to take that risk.
And it saves you some patience and time. Any foul here stops the clock, so they don't have to rush. Here is Keenum. Swinging on Deshaun Hamilton, out of bounds. 34-yard line. There is McManus, again, the career-long 57. You can always kick it far here at the altitude at mile high, but it is a colder night, so you cut that back a little bit. You're thinking for his career-long, they've got to get to the 39-yard line. That's going to be in the ballpark. We watched him in warm-ups. Mike Black, our spotter up here with us, 55 was the max number. So 55, you'd have to get to the 37-yard line.
And lots of time to use the entire field here. You don't just have to attack the sideline.
So about 30 yards away, give or take a few from field goal range. Keenum going to take a shot to Hamilton downfield, hand fighting, no flag, incomplete. TJ Carey with the coverage. It's 3rd and 2.
Keenum here saw the safety come out of the middle of the field. You got one-on-one with no safety help. Give it a shot, right? Looked like there was a little bit of a stutter by Hamilton right there. Not much of one, but good play on the back end, but try to steal one on a big play, stop the clock. Plenty of opportunities here.
You know the bench is going to overreact on this Denver side, but they thought that Carey locked the arm, the left arm of Hamilton. So 3rd and 2, got to pick up a first down. The next couple of snaps, minute 32 to go. Keenum trying to pick up that first down. Hamilton stopped. What a play by Brian Bonnie Calhoun. He came up with a huge stop, and now it's 4th down, and they've got to get to the 37. 4th and 2. Must make. Keenum, 3-man rush. He throws. It's caught for the first down. Game stays alive with Booker. And Devontae Booker keeps going. Helmet off, shy of midfield. Can't stop the clock. Minute left.
That was really a nice job by Devontae Booker, who sneaks through the line, has a little bit of a hook there and breaks away from the linebacker.
So kill the clock, 52 seconds left, about 12 or 13 yards from field goal range.
Let's take a look at this now as he breaks through here and is going to hook. The linebacker matches to him, so he breaks away from him, given a spot for Case Keenum to make the throw.
And the Browns have been shoddy tacklers at times this year, and that was a little bit of it. We knew he had the first down, but there were the 3 stops. Again, That Greg Williams timeout earlier on what would have been the neutral zone infraction would have ended the game is giving the Broncos life. 52 seconds left from midfield. Keenum incomplete in the middle. Lacoste, the tight end, looking for a flag. They get none. It's third down. The coverage with Jabril Peppers.
Just tight man-to-man coverage right now. You can't leave space, or they've been picking you apart with the underneath stuff, so got to get up in their face. Nice job across the board there by Peppers, right there to make a play on the football.
Cortland Sutton is the big play receiver for the Broncos, the rookie second-round pick at the bottom of the screen. 2 plays to get 10 yards. Here comes the pressure up the middle. It's picked up for the moment. Keenum retreats, puts it up for grabs. It's incomplete. That'll bring up fourth down. The fans wanted a pass interference to the tackle, but that was fine. There was nothing happening there. So here we go. We're down to 1 play again in this one.
And that's typical Greg Williams right there, what we call blitz zero. Man-to-man across the board. No safeties are going to bring everybody else on the pressure. Wouldn't be surprised if he does it again on fourth down.
Do you think he comes with it again?
I do think he comes with it again. Play off coverage, try to get him to throw quick and make a tackle in this situation, but that's who he is and how he likes to live.
Well, Dr. Heat bringing the heat on this final play. 4th and 10. 43 seconds remaining. Here it comes. Free runner. Keenum is sacked by Jabril Peppers, and the Browns will win.
They tried to dress it up again, but exact same blitz. Going to see him bring an overload. They're going to bring more than you can cover, more than you can block, and they force you to have to make a quick throw. There was no quick throw to be made. Peppers gets there quickly and finishes this game.
And the Cleveland Browns will win 4 of their last 5. They will go to 6-7-1. And the Cleveland Browns are still in the playoff mix.
We're still saying it. You laid out the scenario for these next couple weeks. Those Cleveland fans are going to hang on your every word, Mike.
I'll tell you, Cincinnati, 1 o'clock on Sunday along the lakefront in Cleveland. There's going to be a meaningful football game, probably played week 16 in Northeast Ohio. And Greg Williams making his bid to be the head coach of this team down the line. They are now 4-2 since he took over. Meantime, the Broncos lose. They are 6-8. If Denver does not win against Oakland on Monday Night Football next week, which might be the last ever game in Oakland, that stadium at least, or beat the Chargers week 17, the Broncos will have back-to-back losing seasons for the first time since 71-72. And the 11-game losing streak to Denver comes to an end for Cleveland. Last beat him on a Monday night when Bernie Kosar was the quarterback in 1990. They beat him here tonight. Baker Mayfield gets another victory, gets a road win in Denver. Mark Titleman, our producer, Greg Scoptonio, our director. Good to be with our crew here with NFL Network tonight. We look forward to next Saturday night with the Chargers and the Ravens at StubHub. Enjoy your quick flight. See you next week, pal.
You sure you don't want to come?
No. You're on NFL Network. Schrager's on Fox. I'm on NBC tomorrow.
I'll see you
folks
next week.
enjoy your Sunday. We thank you for spending your Saturday night with us. And stay tuned. U.S. Army postgame, Chris Rose, Terrell Davis, and Willie McGinnis coming up from Denver with a